Farewell to old England forever. Farewell to my rumculls as well. Farewell to the well-known Old Bailey, where I used for to cut such a swell. Singing tooralai-ooralai-adity, singing tooralai-ooralai-ay, singing tooralai-ooralai-adity, and we're bound for Botany Bay. There's the captain as is our commander, there's the boatswain and all the ship's crew, there's the first and the second class passengers, knows what we poor convicts go through. Singing tooralai-ooralai-adity, singing tooralai-ooralai-ay, singing tooralai-ooralai-adity, and we're bound for Botany Bay. Tain't leaving old England we cares about, tain't 'cause we misspells what we knows, but because all we light-fingered gentry hops around with a log on our toes. Singing tooralai-ooralai-adity, singing tooralai-ooralai-ay, singing tooralai-ooralai-adity, and we're bound for Botany Bay. These 7 long years I've been serving now, and 7 long more have to stay, all for bashing a bloke down our alley and taking his ticker away. Singing tooralai-ooralai-adity, singing tooralai-ooralai-ay, singing tooralai-ooralai-adity, we're bound for Botany Bay. Oh, had I the wings of a turtle dove, I'd soar on my pinion so high, slap bang to the arms of my Polly love, and in her sweet presence I'd die. Singing tooralai-ooralai-adity, singing tooralai-ooralai-ay, singing tooralai-ooralai-adity, we're bound for Botany Bay. Now all my young dukies and duchesses, take warning from what I've to say. Mind all is your own as you touch us, or you'll find us in Botany Bay. Singing tooralai-ooralai-adity, singing tooralai-ooralai-ay, singing tooralai-ooralai-adity, we're bound for Botany Bay.
Hello, my darlings. Hello, and good morning, good evening. If you're watching this live, then you clearly can see that I am suffering from some sort of insomnia, because I am incapable of actually falling back asleep. I don't know why, I don't know how. I was extremely tired earlier on. Suddenly, I'm wide awake, and now you're going to have to suffer this. Well, actually, if you're watching, you're going to have to suffer this. If you're fast asleep, as you should be in the United Kingdom, good old Blighty, then you won't suffer this until possibly tomorrow, where you may feel the urge to click. But either way, I'm here. Now I'm live, and yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do it live. F it. We're gonna do it live. Okay, what are we gonna do? We're gonna accommodate in my insomnia, first and foremost. Second of all, we're gonna sit down and we're gonna talk about Boris, because I've been hearing shit. I've been hearing a lot of shit about Boris. What have I been hearing? Well, I've been hearing a lot of people saying he has to go. Does he have to go? Perhaps. Is there a good replacement for him? Not really. That's the choice. That's the problem. Are Conservatives really going to lose the next election? To who? To who? To Keir Starmer? I doubt it. I really do doubt it. I'm not entirely sure Keir is going to be the one who's going to really replace old Boris there. Let me know in chat, what do you guys prefer, this one or this one? The Banksy bold glasses, no beard, or shadow, 5 o'clock shadow, or the Banksy with the goatee with stars? Let me know. Put stars or beard, or no beard, or some, I don't know. I don't really care. Oh my god, it's Flexi. Flexi in his house. Flexi is in UK time. It's only me watching you. Banksy, I know. Actually, that's kind of worrying, to be honest. Last time I saw you, you were shirtless, rubbing aloe vera leaves, or yeah, all over yourself, your head, your body. That was in itself an experience which I would rather not repeat. I'm not joking. That's just me. I'd rather see you with a shirt on and not rubbing aloe vera all over yourself. So yeah, that freaked me out. I'm not gonna lie to you. That creeped me out considerably. Anyway, back to the Boris Johnson conversation. Sorry, I shouldn't be engaging in the chat convo. I should just stick to myself. But anyway, so yeah, so what are we doing? We're looking at Boris Johnson now. This is what caught my eye, I guess, and really sparked up this whole thing. This little debate, or well, this statement, I guess, or this statement by the MP. Shoot, what's his name? David Davis, who, by the way, says a lot of sensible things from time to time. So this is what caught my eye. Let's hear it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Like many on these... Thank you, Mr. David Davis. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Like many on these benches, I spent weeks and months defending the Prime Minister against often angry constituents. I reminded them of his success in delivering Brexit and the vaccine and many other things. But I expect my leaders to shoulder the responsibility for the actions they take. Yesterday, he did the opposite of that. So I'll remind him of a quotation altogether too familiar to him of Leo Amery to Neville Chamberlain. You have sat there too long for all the good you have done. In the name of God, go.
So yeah, sat there too long. Has Boris outstayed his welcome as Prime Minister? That's the comments from David Davis. I want to just share another clip with you as maybe a compliment, or maybe a food for thought of Boris Johnson, and is it really time for him to go? This is my next I guess analysis, or something that just, again, food for thought. Does Boris know what he's doing?
I went, as we all must, to Peppa Pig World. I don't know if you've been to Peppa Pig World. Who's been to? Hands up anyone who's been to Peppa Pig World. Not enough. I was a bit hazy what I would find at Peppa Pig World, but I loved it. And Peppa Pig World is very much my kind of place. It has very safe streets, discipline in schools, heavy emphasis on new mass transit systems, I notice, even if they're a bit stereotypical about Daddy Pig.
Oh dear God. Oh dear Lord. The man is the Prime Minister of this country, I just want to remind you. He's not some dithery old man just ranting on a YouTube channel. That's me. That's me. That's not him. He runs this country. And he went to Peppa Pig World. He's giving a press conference about Peppa Pig World. What am I watching here? What am I observing? What am I looking at? Because I'm clearly must be just idiotic. There must be something broken. There's the deja vu, the glitch in the matrix, where he sees the black cat twice. This to me is my deja vu. This is my glitch in the matrix. When this man is running the country, the United Kingdom, a nuclear-powered nation in the world. This man could launch nuclear missiles. You know that, right? He has the ability. He has the button and possibly the codes. This is, oh my fucking lord. I mean, even in my sort of what's it called, late night sleep deprived induced comatic state, I can see that there's something wrong here. Come on, Banksy. You've been drinking. I haven't had I'm literally drinking orange soda, sugar free. I shouldn't be drinking this at this time of night. I should go brush my teeth. This kind of shit rusts your teeth away, kids. Don't drink this crap. Yeah, Boris Johnson runs this country. He was giving in the middle of a COVID pandemic. Oh my God, Miss Banksy, what are you doing? You should be fast asleep, my darling. I guess you're suffering from insomnia. Bring out all the insomniacs now. This is the Insomniac Hour. Welcome to Banksy Style Insomniac Hour with your host, Banksy Style. Let's let me. Damn it! I should have had the music ready. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, is this? Could this be the one? Oh yeah. Welcome to Banksy Style Late Night Insomniac Jazz. That's right. You're here listening to the ranting and ravings of a sleep-deprived individual. Let me see. Oh man, I need a. What this do? I need like some kind of like bass style jazz. Do 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 do. I don't have it. What's? I need like bassy jazz. What's this? Yes. It's alright, it's sort of jazzy, but it's not quite what I was after. No, it's too exciting. Oh god, it's not even jazz. The thing is calypso. Anyway, you get it. I think that the joke has long passed. This is. Here we go. No, it's not. I'm not feeling this. Oh yeah. This is much better. You're listening to Insomniac Jazz with Banksy Style. The rantings of a sleep-deprived moron. So we'll continue. We'll continue with the rest of them. It's a bitch. Yes, it is, Miss Banksy. Yes, it is. Okay, so where were we? Yeah, Boris Johnson, Mr. Johnson. This man, he runs this country. He runs the great nation of Britain. He's in charge of shit, and I have to put up with this crap from this man. I mean, you are running this country, man. Look at this. First of all, let me bring this bit up. Look at this. He's lost the paperwork, that his notes.
People will have the confidence to stay nearer the place they grew up, to start business. And Tony, yesterday I went, as we all must, to Peppa Pig World. I don't know if you've been to Peppa Pig World. Who's been to? Hands up, anyone who's been to Peppa Pig World? Not enough.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So as the man said in the David Davis said, is it time for Boris to go? I don't know. I honestly don't know because okay, let me just.
So I'll remind him.
Hold on.
Yesterday,
this is the clip. This is the clip.
he did the opposite of that. So I'll remind him of a quotation altogether too familiar to him of Leo Amery to Neville Chamberlain. You have sat there too long for all the good you have done. In the name of God, go.
Okay. Okay. Where am I? What am I doing? What am I saying? Is it time? Is it time for old Boris to jack it? I don't know. I don't know because I just don't see any good replacements. Let's be honest. The replacements are all cuckolding little dicks. I mean, nobody cares. That's stick brush on the snare. Yeah. Yeah. I just don't know. I just don't know if it's if there's anyone to really replace him. I mean, don't get me wrong. This Mr. Peppa Pig man is not exactly ideal. It's just so embarrassing. I mean, what's going on here? What's going on? We've got Sleepy Man Joe in America. I mean, the man literally falls apart as he's answering questions. He is just unbelievably, like, I mean, clearly he's senile. I mean, the man is 80 odd years old. He should have been retired like a couple of decades ago, even by British retirement standards, which is screwing us and practically telling us we should be retiring at 70 now. And by the way, another thing, I'll come back, I'll circle back in a second. But yeah, they're telling us you should retire at 70, and yet what's it called? Yeah, you should retire at 70, and Joe Biden is like in his 80s, and he's the president of the United States. The man is actually, I don't know if this is right because he's he's 79 according to his Wikipedia page. So I guess he's not 80 something. Someone said he was 84. I could swear, unless this has not been updated. Hold on. Born in 1942. $80. Yeah. In 2022 it'll be 80. So yeah, I guess it's gonna be 80 now. But either way, 80 is a lot. Is a lot for a man. I mean, I'm sure he must be suffering from either dementia or Alzheimer's. These things have got to start to have kicked in by now. If he's gonna suffer from them, there's no way this man is of sound of mind. So we've got Dementia Joe in the United States. Let's go, Brandon. And then we've got Peppa Pig Boris in the UK. And then we've got, Macron. Fuck me, is Angela Merkel still running Germany? I think so. I don't know. Chancellor of Germany. Oh no, it's Olaf Scholz now, apparently. Okay, so Angela Merkel is out. It's some other cuckold since 2021. So yeah, so Angela is out. Angela Merkel. So I mean, I'm not even sure what this Olaf guy is all about. I haven't investigated it at all. I'm not a Boris fan. Here we go. This is from Miss Banksy, guys. How old will Trump be by the when they vote him back in. I don't think so. I don't think they'll vote him back in. I think the guy from Florida might run. Actually, it seems a strong case. The guy from Florida, the senator, was it the governor of Florida? There's a good chance he will run, and Trump will back him, kind of thing, and propel him forward. I don't think Trump will run. I just don't see it in the cards. I'm not a Boris fan. This is a message from Miss Banksy, but I believe he's being set up by the same entity that attacked Trump, and he knows it. Yeah, possibly there is a counter operation ongoing. Call me a conspiracy theorist. Well, I don't know. Maybe. The thing is, I'm not precious about any prime minister or presidents. I'm just interested in, who are the replacement candidates, and can they actually be better? I believe in the saying from Star Troopers, "You're it until until you're dead or I find someone better." That's the hiring strategy I have. Is when it comes to prime ministers and presidents, you're it until you die, until you're dead or they find someone better. But I just don't think there's anyone better. That's the problem. I just don't see a better option. Old AF, but yeah, he will have another go at it. Trust my crystal ball. I don't know, Flexi. I'm not sure whether Trump will get back in, because I think Trump might find himself serving better promoting a candidate which is very similar to him, but a much younger and more vibrant, and one that maybe not has as many issues in the media as Trump did. If you get a chance, watch the Devolution Theory by Patriot on Rumble. It's very interesting. There you go. Good advice from Miss Banksy. I will try to watch the Devolution Theory. But either way, yeah, I'm not 100% convinced that Boris is necessarily, going to be replaced by anyone better. That's my only objection, is that I don't think Boris is really going to get replaced by anyone better than what we already have. We seem to be kind of stuck with him because Keir Starmer, the Labour Party, forget it. The Labour Party, people say like, oh, well, I mean, nobody really with any sense says it. Anyone who cares about freedom, anyone who hates the lockdowns and the masks and mandatory vaccines by the nurses, which, by the way, were all protesting today in central London. Some great footage by various people like Subject Access and others. Hold on, let me see if I can find Subject Access's clip here. There you go. Hold on. Let me just mute it because I want to rant over it. But this is the clip of all the nurses chucking their uniforms at 10 Downing Street, and that, I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh no, I don't think this was very good." There's always some dipshit out there who goes, "Oh no, I don't think this was wise. We shouldn't have done it." Yes, they absolutely should have. This is a wonderful symbolism, and this is the kind of thing that will stay in the media, that will capture the sort of attention of people. It's completely peaceful, and it doesn't harm anyone. This is a very poignant, peaceful, symbolic gesture. I don't see this as any problem. This didn't damage anything. It didn't break anything. It didn't even hurt the police. The police themselves are probably in favor of this. The police themselves are if you ask them if in their outside of their capacity as a police officer, look, they're not even like chucking them back. They're not even objecting to them. They are allowing the nurses to do, to do this. They have no problem with this. It's a very great symbolic gesture, and it sort of has impact because it's a statement. It's a great statement, and it's a very peaceful, non-aggressive statement. I don't see any problem with this. I mean, I should have gone and covered this, to be honest with you, but laziness, waking up late and other shit to do. But I should have been out there today. I knew I should have gone. But it turned out wonderful. I mean, it looks great. There's no aggressive no one can complain that they were chucking cans or something. I mean, there was one time they were chucking balls at 10 Downing Street, wasn't it? Tennis balls or some shit. I don't know, but I mean, I thought this was wonderful. This is a very good symbolic gesture, and it will capture the attention of hopefully all of Britain. It will be widely spread in the newspapers for sure. These pictures will circulate all over the media. I'm sure of it, because the media will eat this up, and yeah, it'll demonstrate to the world how you fuckers were very much. Mr. Boris himself was asking these same people who've thrown all their uniforms over to 10 Downing Street. He was asking these people to clap for these people. He was begging them to clap for these nurses. Now you're mandating a vaccine that they don't want to have, and you're chucking them out of their job. So now all of a sudden it's amazing. You see how 1 minute you're the hero of the world, next minute they don't give a shit about you. So it's clapping like a seal. I never clapped, by the way. I never clapped once. I thought it was demeaning to my human rights, to myself of just being a human being, to be like a clapping seal for these people. By the way, Subject Access, great guy. Go subscribe if you haven't already. He's does great. By the way, the gentleman in the front here, his name is Resistance G. His channel is Resistance GB. It's Wellesley. So also go subscribe to him. He's great as well. If the 6 of you haven't already, which I think you have. Anyway, but either way, I think it was a great protest today, and I think these are the reasons. If Boris doesn't reverse on this nurse thing, he's got issues. I mean, I know the party gate and the party scandal is like a thing, and people are harping on about it. I'll be honest. I think that's just a sign of hypocrisy, which is fine, and I think he should be braided for it. Hey, Lena. All good. Hope you're well. Blessings to everyone. But yeah, I think that Partygate isn't really that big a deal if he fixes this issue with the nurses. We can't get rid of 80,000 nurses and care workers because you've got it in your ass that everybody should be, because you want to push a ridiculous mandate which isn't necessary. It just isn't necessary. It is far more important. You know how many people are going to suffer? Cancer patients. Just someone stick a kid with leukemia in front of Boris Johnson and say a nurse was fired that would normally look after this child. You know what I mean? Just do that. Just get a camera, find a kid with leukemia whose nurse is being fired or is going to get fired if this mandate kicks in, and have that kid tell Boris, "Why are you firing my nurse?" I swear, you get one video of something like that, that shit will explode. And that one event will reverse this mandate bollocks for caretakers and nurses. Just get a kid with leukemia, one of those little bald ones, preferably one that can still walk. I mean, you don't want them to be so sick they have to be carted out in their bed or some shit. One that's walking, but definitely bald. And just like in that hospital gown, and just make a beeline for Boris at some event, hold the nurse's hand and say, this nurse is being fired because of you, Boris, and this kid with leukemia is going to lose his favorite nurse. Why are you doing this, not Boris? This is it. That's it. That's all you need is that one image. I'm sure some PR company out there will fucking figure this out. There's got to be someone out there that can find the bald kid that can hold a nurse's hand. I mean, at this point, I'm not even sure if the kid needs to have leukemia. Just shave some 12-year-old down. Some 8-year-old's better. Just shave down some 8-year-old, traipse him up to Boris Johnson. Oh man, I'm fucking making light of this shit. That's terrible. But there are genuinely people who are gonna lose their nurses and their care staff because of this bullshit, and they depend on them. They need them. This is real. This isn't some fucking game. This isn't Peppa Pig world, Mr. Boris Johnson. People need their fucking nurses. What are you doing? What are you doing? This is insane. You're mandating something that is unnecessary. I swear, history is not going to be kind to these people over the last 2 years. All of these Karens and these dictator politicians, two-bit wannabe dictator politicians in Australia, in Austria, in Canada, history, I hope, comes down on them like a ton of bricks. I hope in the future we will look upon these people as the tyrants they clearly are, the mini Hitlers that they clearly are. They just need to be exposed. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't put Boris in that camp. I actually think he has been remarkably good in comparison. This nurses mandate thing, if he drops that, this will recover, I think, a lot of good faith in the public. But that little poison dwarf in Scotland, that idiot in Wales, I swear these people should never hold office again. What is wrong with the Scottish? I don't understand what is wrong with the Scottish. The Scottish should be screaming the streets of Glasgow and Edinburgh and Falkirk and all these other major sort of locations. There should be protests every day in the streets by the Scots. What is the Scots doing? I don't hear or see shit from the Scots. And the Scots have got this two-bit mini dictators running their lives, ruining their New Year's events, ruining their Christmas events, ruining proper moments with their families, precious moments that especially their elderly relatives may never get to see again. So I don't understand. The Scots. I always expected the Scots to be sort of very, very brash warrior type group of people. Keep watching Braveheart and you think these people got a set between their legs, but allowing that little poison dwarf to dictate their lives the way she has, without them, burning down the fucking streets. Well, I'm not saying protest violently, but there should be protests. Should be thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of Scotsmen in the streets. Hey Apple, how's it going? I just don't understand. I just don't understand why these people, the Scots, are allowing this to happen. So yeah, there's that side of things. Actually, there's a few things I want to address before I possibly pass out due to some form of self-induced coma. I don't know. Let me just get my shite together. Let me see. Okay, I guess this is as good as any. I can bring this up. Can I actually bring up anything else? I suppose this. Whoa! What's some craziness going on here? What is this? Okay, this will do. This will do. Okay, as you guys may or may not know, I'm gonna segue a little bit off Boris here. I'm gonna go to some YouTube drama which I've had my thoughts on, and I want to express my thoughts on a few YouTube activities. Now, you all know me as a prolific troll, and I am. I'm a pathological piss taker. It's like it's in my DNA. I have to just somehow take the piss and mock something about everyone at some point. And that's why I always say on this channel, you will come across one day a thing that will piss you off. No matter who you are, which walk of life, which politics you adopt, which religious and spiritual practices you have, at one point there will be a video that will merge on this channel which will say something about something you hold precious, and you will call me a cunt for it. And I fully expect that. That is a thing. That is actually a warning to you all who subject yourself to the punishment of listening to me rant. So for that matter, I will, I hold my hand up to say that I also played my part in this rancid game of trolling Wendy. And I did that in 2019. That was back then. We had our moment. We had our little war. And I got over it. She got over it. We got past it. And we, we united on the commonalities, things that we agree on, rather than me trying to troll Wendy all the time. Although other people, tell me, why do you like her, or Jupiter, they're this, they're that. They try to, say a lot of shit about them. And I'm not saying that, these are angels. These are flawed individuals like all of us. They have their strong opinions about certain things that I don't agree with necessarily. I'll be honest. I'm not in agreement, although I can understand the sort of pressures and sort of things that led to Wendy calling Esau an N-word, or using the N-word. I'm not a particularly favor of that word myself. I think that word should die with history. But they use the N-word. They don't like, people don't like them for it. I'm not precious about that. I think it's best not to use that word, but if they want to use it in whichever context they feel comfortable in, then that's individually on them. I don't see words as being, if you're reacting violently to a word, then you have a lot of problems that you have to sort out within yourself. You have a lot of chips on your shoulder, and I think that N-word exposes certain groups, chips effectively that they have on their shoulders. If you're a person that is truly harmonious and content within yourself, words will never trigger you in that way. But nevertheless, whether I agree or I don't, it doesn't matter. 3 individuals have been dogpiling, and possibly with others, on Wendy for the last week or so, I guess, that has gone by. To the extent in which these 3 individuals, although, as I say, I can definitely say 2 individuals, and I think it's hard to say that Rodney didn't play his part. I think Rodney definitely played his part. But of course, the 2 obvious overt aggressors are Esau and Brian Hurl. But then, Wendy's been warring with Brian for like best part of 2-3 years. I thought she was prepared for this. I thought she was ready for this sort of battle. But apparently she's not, because they went after her so hard over a few days, in which she ended up writing a suicide note and going at 2 a.m. in front of her husband's grave. So clearly that build-up affected her over the few days. And no matter what kind of an asshole you are on the internet, and I like to, I pride myself as being one of the greatest assholes on the internet. I'm a complete douche, and a jerk off, and a whatever American in Britain we just call you a cunt. Okay, in Britain just say you've been a bit of a cunt. And I haven't just been a bit of a cunt. I'm a big ass cunt on the internet. I fully agree. I fully admit that. I'm freely allow you, all of you, to refer to me as such, because we all know I troll and I'm a bit of a cunt when it comes to certain people. Not everyone, but some people that I troll a lot. So as an individual who is a troll, I think that it is. I don't have a huge amount of ground to sort of scold other people or to kind of finger point and finger wag and be a Karen to other trolls. But I will say that if I hear any of the opponents that I'm trolling or anyone that I'm currently like fighting with, warring with, in the world of war of words, if I hear any of them have gone to the point of where they're, literally written a suicide note or crying in front of their husband's grave, I think at least at that point you have to recognize, you have to be self-aware enough of how much of a cunt you are to pull back and say, hey, I was a bit too much of a cunt. Okay, I'm sorry about that. We'll chill for a bit. Now, again, I'm not asking anyone to do this or not to do this. You live your life, and you if you can sleep at night with the things you've done and the things you've said, then that's on you. But from my perspective, even if Zubaydah, if I heard Zubaydah, which is clearly one of the people I am I don't say despise, because that's way too much of an emotional investment in Zubaydah. Someone that I troll, someone that I fuck with, and we've certainly been at war since 2019, or been like war of words, and physically she has attacked me. So I have no cause to in any way feel sorry for her or feel bad for her. But if someone says to me, oh, Zubaydah was on the verge of suicide because of what you just said or what you did, I would straight up, my first reaction is, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I had no idea that this was that bad. And yeah, I'll back up. I'll chill out a little bit. And that would be it. That would be I think, the most sensible and the most reasonable thing to do. But these people are not like that. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it in the way they reacted to Sir Faz's mother's issue. Sir Faz says her mum got so scared that they had to take her to hospital. Now, he said it was for a heart attack. Maybe it wasn't for a heart attack, but these fuckers went out of their way to try to analyze the whole thing and like, oh, if you really had a heart attack, they wouldn't just let you discharge you the next day. It would have to. There was no way. They're trying to disprove the heart attack claim rather than, oh, we really acted like complete cunts here. We were like way out of line, and we scared this person so much that their mum had to be taken to hospital because of a shock. Even if it was because of shock, even if it had nothing to do with a heart attack, it's still way too much. You guys have crossed some fucking lines here. But no. Forget about the fact how much of a cunt you guys were by going to the person's house and scaring the shit out of his mum. No, let's try to find out why Sir Faz may or may not have lied about her mum having a heart attack. His mum having a heart attack. That's the critical thing here. You guys are fucking nuts. You guys are like way over the line. So yeah, I mean, as I said, I don't expect Esau or Brian to sort of crawl on their knees begging Wendy for forgiveness or just completely reversing their attitude. I'm just saying, if you hear even something, if you as a human being, if you even hear another human being was going to commit suicide because of your actions, because of your words, because of something you were responsible for, then I would have imagined most normal people, not sociopaths or psychopaths, would be shocked and go, oh shit, sorry, gone a bit too far. There would at least be that moment. There was none of that. There was none of that moment whatsoever. Like they didn't even look like they had a moment of reflection to like, whoa, okay, this maybe gone a bit too. It got out of hand, lads. Let's pull it back a little. We should have been at a 6 or a 7. We were at a 9 or an 11. We gone a bit too much. Let's chill. Let's just let Wendy go. Although, I mean, this is the world of the internet, and I will say that in this world of the internet, Wendy should. There is the only responsibility that I would put on her shoulders is, why did you continually go back to a place that was that toxic to you or to your mental health? That is the only thing that I can say to her. And I did say to her, I said it to when I was on Jupiter's panel the other night. I said, why do you keep going back? Why did you go back multiple times? Like, it's, that to me is a little bit that's almost like sadism. That's almost a little bit sadistic of keep going to the place where the abusers are. That was a little bit off. Wendy should have had enough sort of way about herself, enough. I guess it's almost like an addiction. It's almost like you gotta go and see what they're saying. I want to hear what they're saying. I want to know if they're talking about me again. It's like, let it go. Go watch a movie, take a night off, and just talk to some close family and friends, or go out with some family and friends, have a nice dinner out, instead of sitting in front of this computer and listening to these toxic assholes. That's the problem. I think people find it hard to switch off. This is why it's perplexing for me when I hear children who say, I'm being cyberbullied off the internet from these bullies from school. And I'm like, you do know you can switch off the computer, right? Like, there's an off button on every fucking electronic device. Phones, tablets, computers, laptops, they all have off buttons. Not only that, you can literally, through social media, if these people are harassing you on social media and you don't want to stop using, I don't know, fucking Instagram or Snapchat or whatever it is these kids use, you can just block that individual. You just block them, or that group of individuals, from that particular platform, so that you can carry on using your platform. You don't have to ban yourself or be shooed off the internet because of these individuals, but you just don't interact with these individuals. I mean, don't get me wrong, being bullied at school is a bitch. Everybody's been bullied at school at one point. Me, most of the time I just threw a punch. Either I threw a punch or they threw a punch at me, and we fought and we settled it, because I grew up partially in Iran, and those were the rules. Someone fucks with you at school, you hit them, and they hit you, and you have a fight, and then that's it. That ends. And I'll be honest, most of my bullies, that's how it ended. There was one or two which, if I could go back in time, I should plant their face into a brick wall, which I never did. I don't know why, but those I didn't do. Those were later on when I grew up. I think the English environment made me a bit more of a pussy later on in life. But as I became older as a teenager, whilst when I was young, when I was like 9, 10 years old, just straight in with the punches. Didn't even fucking ask questions. But I guess as you get older, you start to think about consequences and stuff. Yeah, I suppose that's the reason. I had less fights as I got older than when I was younger. But then those fights I had when I was younger saved me a lot of fights when I got older, because people knew, you cross a certain line with me, you get a fucking smack in the face, and shit goes down. So that's it. People then wouldn't cross lines, that particular line. But that was, I guess, as you're younger, you don't really have, you have less shits to give about these things. As you get older, sort of consequences of your actions become more you're more overtly aware of, okay, if I hit him, then I'll get expelled, or this will happen, or that will happen. Is it worth me hitting this dipshit right now? Maybe. But anyway, as far as the internet is concerned, yeah, as I said, in school, you can't do anything about it. The bullies are there. You're all thrown in together in a shitty school environment, but they don't have to follow you home. Scottish and Irish. Yeah, so there's a little bit like that. Apple. But men we used to be like that. We men used to settle extreme disagreements with our fists eventually. So that's the thing with men on men, is if you go so far and you cross some lines, you'll eventually get blasted in the face. And that's the self-correcting mechanism of men being too much of a cunt. Whilst women, because it's socially unacceptable to hit a woman doesn't really fully get that that course correction, unless it's another woman that smacks her in the face, then that's occasionally those realization moments occur, and certain self introspection then comes from it. But women get away with a lot more verbal shit than men do. Most men, if you're doing it to another man in front of him, at some point you're going to cross a line, you get blasted in the face, you hit him, he hits you, and then you settle your shit. But with women, as I say, it's a different situation. Even with the Zubaydah situation, she has actually cooled down a lot. I still give her a lot of that shit. I still throw in a lot of the stuff about even her fucking mum and stuff. But she is chilled because she got that cathartic experience of, well, I beat him, I hit him, I physically attacked him, so I'm good now. I can rest. I can relax. She's almost like it's quenched her thirst for revenge or justice because she feels she got her justice from that. And in a way, I'm glad because, it was an event that didn't really harm anyone, but it gave her the satisfaction that she needs, I guess. And I still carry on trolling her when I can anyway. I don't stop. It's just, she doesn't say, she says a lot of stupid things all the time, but it's just recently she doesn't give me a lot of material to work with. Is she a happy hippo now? Yes, she's a happy hippo and a hungry hippo. But yeah, I mean, she seems she's got that cathartic experience of, yes, I've got my justice, so doesn't matter what he says, I can move on. And I guess that's what she's doing. She's kind of doing her thing. I guess, I don't know if she's still eating ass, but Walid was very insistent that she does a lot of that. Well, anyway, yeah, that's it. That's my thoughts on Wendy and Esau, Rodney, and the Brian Hurl situation. I think absolutely those assholes deserve everything that's coming to them. Rodney, I'll be honest, for the mere fact that you didn't control your panelists and you carried on and you allowed the dogpiling because you thought that it's giving you views and shit like that, for a bunch of views, you sold that. And so if people unsubscribe to you, I'm going to recommend for people to unsubscribe to you as a principled act to show that this was wrong. Unsubscribe to Rodney's just to show him that so that he gets a sense of something wrong happened here. Because if there is no punishment, then there is no course correction. Because if people don't get punished for their bad behaviors, then it's the carrot and stick. It's exactly the same with the army. If there is no stick and it's only carrot, then people will never course correct. People will never reevaluate. And I think the stick in this case is Rodney losing subscribers. We can't, I would encourage also people not to click on his live streams because he cares about that a lot more. But nevertheless, just for a while, I'm not saying even permanently. I'm not even saying unsubscribe permanently. I think it just needs to be some stick in order for him to have some kind of like self-reflection about do these people serve his interest? Because Esau and Brian don't give a shit about Rodney. I promise you that. They don't give a fuck about him. They'll destroy his channel and move on to another channel because they're they're parasitic individuals. Brian barely builds up any channel before it's all gone and it's all deleted. Esau doesn't even bother building a channel, so they have no investment in Rodney's channel. Rodney's the one who's invested his time and effort in building up something, and they'll just come, they'll destroy, they'll use it as a platform to do horrific things and say horrific things about other people. And if his channel gets shut down or if he loses all his subscribers, they'll just move on to another channel because they're parasites. Whilst Rodney's the one who's invested his time and effort into his channel, and so he's the one who should course correct. Anyway, I'm not here to fully just like simp and white knight for Wendy. That's not my interest. Wendy's a capable woman. She's strong enough, and she should have also herself got her effectively shit together, and got off that channel, which was extremely toxic. I think, you know, that is the kind of responsibility I do put on Wendy's shoulders. Is you should have got off when you know, got off that channel when it was affecting you so deeply. How is it that you don't recognize something is some trolling, and these people, these individuals, are affecting you this badly, and then you keep going back night after night? You know, that's the only thing that I would say to Wendy. But you know, it is what it is. It's happened. But of course, the majority of the blame is on Brian and Esau's neck, because those two individuals are the culprits. And I don't know. They should have at least eased off a little bit. But then again, they don't know. They don't even care. They're probably heartless little fucks who don't even give a shit. See, my problem isn't that they kept going, because they didn't know how much this was affecting Wendy. They couldn't have known if this was really hurting her, or if she doesn't give a shit. So they would just do what they do to troll her and to hurt her, to try to upset her. But once they found out about this, once they found out what has happened, there was no, at least nothing that I've seen about them apologizing overtly. Like, look, we went too far. It got out of hand. We didn't realize we were making you feel like this. We're sorry. That would have been a sufficient sort of thing to say. That this shit got a bit too much, and we're now gonna chill for a while. But nothing. All I hear from these assholes is, oh, she's lying. Justification. They're just justifying their actions. They're not at all remorseful. And that's where the stick comes in. Now, I don't know in which way the stick is going to come down on Esau and Brian. I mean, Brian, his identity is well known, so the police can easily identify and take him, and there'll be maybe some punishment for him. But would there be any punishment for Esau? Is there any identifying material out there to actually, for the police to be able to actually tell who this individual is? I don't know. Maybe StreamYard can trace the IP address, but even that's not really guaranteed. I don't know if they can extract. I mean, if they find him online, I know that if you have him online live, the companies like StreamYard who provide the service should be able to find his IP address, because the machines need to communicate through the IP addresses for that person to be connected to the server, to the StreamYard services. So they can certainly trace his IP address to his ISP, and then from his ISP, there's a very good chance they'll be able to get his identity. Obviously, these are only things that really the police can do if they put a lot of effort behind it. If they don't bother investigating this in a serious way, then this will vanish into thin air. It will be nothing. And that's the other problem with a lot of these things, is that they don't really put a lot of effort. I mean, if Wendy was for the First Minister, that little poison dwarf in Scotland, when she got some because I think someone on Facebook trolled her by putting up an invite to a party to the First Minister's house in Scotland, and she complained to the police, and the police actually arrested that person under the Malicious Communications Act. But that's because I can't remember her name. What is that First Minister of Scotland's name? Oh, by the way, big up to a lot of people. Mustafa, Transporter, Apple. I see Apple. I see Miss Banksy, Irish Flame, Ed. Yeah, all you guys want, mucha respect. But anyway, the Nicola Sturgeon. Well done. Yeah. Yeah, Nicola Sturgeon. She complained that someone trolled her. Effectively, it was kind of a troll on joking on Facebook, and that person got arrested. Whilst I don't think Wendy is gonna see the same level of, if you like, enthusiasm from the Metropolitan Police towards Brian, because this could very well go under the Malicious Communications Act. This would fit that particular thing. But most people don't give a shit. I mean, most police don't give a shit about low-level people who have, they're not celebrities or ministers or or politicians or things like that. If you're a famous person, they'd probably pay attention. But if you're not a famous person, they're most likely not going to pay any attention to it. So that's the only problem, is that unfortunately I don't know how seriously the Met's going to take this, because I'm sure this kind of crap happens like 24/7 in England, where there's people calling up about malicious communications over the internet. But 90% of the time they're like, the guy's just taking the piss. Just move on, love. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this whole thing unfolds. Again, I'm not holding my breath. Right now, you can wait anything up to 18 months, 18 to 24 months, sorry, for your court case to be heard, because they've got such a massive backlog. It was in GB News the other day. They have such a massive backlog in the courts that your hearing won't, easily up to 2 years until you get your first hearing of whatever crime you're accused of or whatever things you've done. So you think they're really gonna go after an internet troll? And even if they do, it's gonna be a minimum of 2 years before we even hear about this. 2 years before it even gets to court. And that's if they pursue this in such an extent where Brian will eventually have to have his day in court for it. I don't think it's going to happen. I can't see this realistically going that far. Get offline, simple, best thing. Yeah. Is this Shines? Oh God. Is this Shines as in? Wait a minute. Is this the Muslim guy, Wisdom? No, that's Shines. I don't know. Getting these people mixed up. I think Yunus is the cool guy. I'm not sure about Shines. I think Shines. Are you the Muslim, right? And anyway, whatever, man. You can sit there and just text away, man. Text away. But I plucked that Mong. The funny thing is, in YouTube asks me to approve the word Mong, Apple. When you write Mong, I have to manually approve that shit through by clicking on it, because YouTube considers the word Mong, I guess, as something, well, it's politically incorrect, isn't it? Lord Almighty. Anyway, next subject. We've moved on from the subject of Wendy and those degenerates from Rodney, Esau, and Brian to, I don't know. I'm gonna just show you it anyway. Fuck it. This was a YouTube. On Twitter, you have these things. I don't know what the hell they're called. They're called Twitter Space or something, where you can actually open a chat, voice chat environment. I don't know, forum, platform, whatever. I think it's forum. I would say forum. And so you can actually chat with a bunch of people. Now, I actually, this Imam of Peace, Imam Tahudi, opened up one of those, and I was on there. Admittedly, I was at work, but I was on there through my phone because I work from home and my boss can't see me being in a Twitter chat room. But I couldn't really talk because I was at work. And when I had my lunch break, I was trying to get to talk to him. but I couldn't. But I'll be honest with you though, now I found this picture, and it's supposed to be like a good thing of Imam Tahudi and like what I stand for. And I'll be honest, I'm a little bit skeptical of what he stands for, because I don't necessarily stand for these. Not all of these. Let's go through them together. What I stand for: establishing global peace. As much as I would like the idea of establishing global peace, oh, big up Welsh. You're right, mate. You look like you're probably pissed. Did you just get home? Did you just get home, Welsh? Because last I saw you was you had a dog on your back and you were walking into a bar. And that's all she wrote. You ended the stream there. I hope it didn't get too messy, mate. Oh my god. Oh my god. I gotta do these late night ones more. It seems I'm getting more traction at the 3 o'clock hour than I am at 8 o'clock in the evening. Anyway. What's Miss Baxter saying? It's a team of undetermined. It's a term of endearment in my household, Apple. Based on what term of endearment? Kurdish people call moon mong. Oh, the word mong. Yes. Anyway, okay. I'm just gonna go back to Wales one-ish. Oh, damn! You went all the way back to Wales. You came all the way to London and then went all the way back to Wales today. Damn, that's a hell of a trek. Well, I'm glad you're home and safe, mate. That's the main thing. Stellar work on the live stream. Anyway, what I stand for: establishing global peace. Yes, I would love that. Unrealistic. Completely unrealistic. You go talk to the Taliban and find out about how much global peace they want to have. Go talk to Al-Qaeda, Al-Quds, Al-Shabaab, and all the rest of the Als. It's like Al this. Big Al. Yeah, go talk to all the Als and find out how much peace they want to really establish. I don't think you're going to get that. So, yeah, laudable but unrealistic. It's like some shit that a pageant, beauty pageant says, I want world peace, and I want to be the #1 Instagram star. I guess that's what their ambitions are these days. Condemning terrorism, sure, no problems there. Gender equality, ooh. Yeah, well, you said equality, you didn't say equity at least. Maybe that's something. But gender equality, do we really have it? Can we ever really have it? Human beings, men, female. I guess we can have equality on the law, but that's not what the feminists want. They want sameness. They want men and women to be the same. And yeah, by the way, yeah, which gender? You haven't even started. You went down. We haven't even started down that rabbit hole of pronouns and gender identity. Tolerance, love, acceptance of all. Really, you want to tolerate the Taliban? Acceptance of Al-Qaeda, ISIS members? Should we tolerate, love, and accept Shamima Bingham? I don't know how much of that you're gonna really hold to. I think once we start breaking that down, I think this you're gonna crumble under questioning in this one. You may find not all is the term you should put. You should put hashtag not all after that, acceptance of all, because I certainly don't want to accept any ISIS members. I have no tolerance, love, or acceptance of ISIS members who behead, who rape Yazidi women. Have you seen the video of the guy who raped over 50 under 15-year-old Yazidi women? Not to mention the hundreds of others that he raped. You want to have acceptance, love, and tolerance for him? I'm sorry, I don't. I don't have acceptance, love, and tolerance for fucking monsters. Mr. Tahwidi, some of these things, sound like the wishes of a high school beauty contestant or a beauty queen contestant, you know. So I don't know about that. Women's and children's rights. What about men's rights? Men don't have rights. Men don't get rights. No, no. A woman can divorce a man, take his children, take his house, move in her boyfriend into that house, fuck that boyfriend in that man's bed. He has no rights, right? No rights. Ending violence, radicalism, extremism. Again, those terms, those things, radicalism, that all depends on what you're radical about. How about if I'm radical about loving everyone? What if you're radical about pacifism and being a pacifist? Is that is that wrong to be a extremist pacifist to the extent of the giants, where they don't even step on, they look at all the floor all the time because they don't want to step on a bug. They wear cheese grates on their in their mouths so they don't accidentally eat a bug. Is that the same as other extremism? Shall we end it all? I don't know. Certain extremists are not really that worrisome. But anyway, he's knackered. Oh, little doggy. Little Trigger. Good man. Should be asleep. Enhancing education. Sure, I agree. No problems there. I don't even see a reason to argue against that. Strengthening our society. Very, very unspecific, that is. Respect to all. Again, I find that respect to all to be on the same level as tolerance, love, acceptance of all. Some people don't deserve respect. Respect is earned. It's not just simply given because you request it. You have to earn my respect. I'm sorry, Mr. Tahudi. You don't just get my respect. You earn my respect by the deeds that you do. So for me, respect for all is no. In fact, no respect for anyone until they earn it. Is my personal thing. I only give you respect as a human being and the opportunity to show me that you deserve respect or deserve my respect, and so that's all. If you show me that you deserve my respect, you get it. If you don't, you don't. Building bridges between our diverse communities. Maybe. Perhaps. I don't. I'm sure there are holes in that particular statement. It's so late, and my brain and body is failing me. Removing barriers between Muslims and non-Muslims, removing barriers between Muslims and non-Muslims. Muslims build those barriers between Muslims and non-Muslims. Most non-Muslims don't really care. They're happy to sit down and share a meal with a Muslim, but that Muslim insists that meal has to be halal, non-pork, and to their, I guess, to their requirements, just like vegans. That's why I don't sit down and break bread with vegans or halal insisting Muslims, because they piss me off. I want to sit down and eat a bacon sandwich. The barriers that are between me and a Muslim and a bacon sandwich is that Muslim doesn't want me to eat the bacon sandwich in front of him. I've had Muslims tell me, don't eat pork in front of me. They don't want to see it. They don't want to smell it. They don't want anything anywhere near them that's pork related. I'm not joking. I've had Muslims that literally made me sit away from them if I'm eating anything with pork in it. So the barriers are not on my side. I tell you that. The barriers are on their side. They're the ones who insist on living a certain way and dressing a certain way, eating a certain way. So yeah, removing barriers between Muslims and non-Muslims, I firmly put that mostly on the Muslim side. They're the ones who have erected those barriers, so they should knock them down. Ending domestic violence. Sure, but you do know that 40% or 42% of domestic violence is committed by women, right? Are you, I know you're not saying any specific gender here, but yeah, domestic violence, it happens. Men and women, they hit each other. It's shit. It's shit. I agree with you. You should not beat up your spouses. That's perfectly fine. I will not compromise my beliefs, but I will always respect yours. No, no, I think that's that I don't agree with that statement. I will always respect yours. How about if my beliefs are that I have to kill your firstborn and sacrifice him to my God? Are you going to respect my beliefs? Is that a belief that I should hold? That I should kill your firstborn and sacrifice him to my God? Maybe I have that belief. You said I will always respect yours. You won't compromise your beliefs, but you will always respect my. What if my beliefs say that I have to piss on your belief? Would you respect my belief to shit on your beliefs? That might be one of my beliefs. You have to respect the belief that I have to shit on your belief. You do realize there are inherent conflicts in these statements. I think these statements need to be rethought, because you can't possibly respect my belief to shit on your belief. And together we shall create a better tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be honest, a lot of this is bullshit. It's all just like, as I said, it sounds like a high school beauty pageant's statement card that she has to read out to the judges. What would you do if you win? This is what the high school beauty pageant would do if she wins this particular crown. I'll be honest, for me, I think it's childish, these sort of statements. These are simplistic ways of looking at the world, thinking about things. They're not great. Although, as I said, I like the fact that this guy came out. He was one of the first who came out with like concepts of reforming Islam. The first thing you need to do is respect yourself. I respect myself. I have tremendous level of respect for myself. I love me. Don't you hear me laugh all the time? That's because I'm my biggest fan. I am my first audience. I don't even need anyone here. I can listen to me all day. And I do, in my head, all night long. All night long, all night. So yeah. So yeah, this was well. The thing was, I wanted to talk to this gentleman because this gentleman was actually in what's it called? He was sorry guys. He was doing this kind of hangout thing, I guess, on Twitter. And I wanted to ask him if he could debate David Wood, because I think David Wood debates a lot of easy, low-hanging fruit Muslims. You know, Ali Dawa, what's his name, Hikachu guy. Oh shit, I forgot his name. What was it? Daniel Hikachu. These are the kind of characters that David Woods would sort of these are the kind of low-hanging fruit, I think, that that David Wood debates most of the time. These kind of low-hanging fruit Muslims who themselves are, I think, very unsophisticated in their understanding of their Islam. They don't have any real room. They're very dogmatic. They're very sort of black and white Muslims. I think about like their ideology, their philosophy. I think someone like Imam Tahudi would be a bit more complex about it. He would have a slightly more sophisticated, maybe philosophically or just generally, a bit better take on how to deal with, because he is very lefty, wishy-washy kind of modern Muslim. So if you actually take him and debate him with David Wood, then we'll come to we might actually explore the lines in which David Wood would not yield, the conservative Christian lines which he himself holds, because a lot of people, a lot of these hardcore Muslims, they are more extremist than David Wood when it comes to conservative living. But David Wood himself is conservative. He's a Christian. I'm sure his position on abortion, his position on the gender roles, his position on gender identity, all of these things could be explored, and I think it would be quite interesting to see what David Wood would have to say about those things. So yeah, I would be interested actually to see David Wood, debate Tawhidi. Now he debated this guy. His name is Kenny Rogers. No, no, Kenny Rogers did not convert to Islam. Don't get all excited. It's Kenny Borner. He's clearly a convert to Islam, and he looks like he's addicted to vaping because he's got his freaking vape in his hand in a debate. How much tobacco do you have to consume, sir, that you can't hold off a few minutes whilst you're debating? He's holding his fucking vape. Vaping I think, is more addictive than freaking, yeah, I know, Charlotte, I know, Apple. But yeah, it's like, how addictive is vaping? Please, answers in the chat, feel free, because this man is unable to stop vaping for maybe an hour, a couple of hours of a debate. I mean, can you imagine people just constantly smoke? Well, I suppose you could. If you go back to like the 70s and 80s, people were, cigarette in hand and everywhere all the time. There was a cigarette in their hand. So I suppose, yeah, there is it's just nowadays that because they can't smoke indoors, it's easier for them not to smoke. I don't know. That's got to be crazy, though, to have to constantly carry this thing which you have to suck on to get your hits, get your fix. I'm so glad I never got addicted to cigarettes. Anyway, so yeah, this individual debates David Wood on the subject of this debate was Muhammad's marriage to Aisha immoral? I mean, it should really say moral or immoral. But I suppose if you say immoral, and if you can prove your case that it wasn't immoral, then automatically it then stands that it must be a moral act. But I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen this debate, and Titans TV, of all people, came out the other day. Today, I missed it. I missed the freaking live show, but Titans TV, Callum from Titans TV, if any of you know this, he was a regular at Speaker's Corner once upon a time, and he was one of the first people who started this Speaker's Corner YouTube thing, like recording the speakers at Speaker's Corner or the antics and events at Speaker's Corner. Actually, oh, sorry. I'm just sorry about this. I'm just reading the text. It's through me. Miss Banksy, I don't know where he disappeared to. He was, obviously he fell off the grid for a bit, but he was still doing his thing. I mean, he was still tweeting from time to time. But yeah, you're right. He did disappear. I guess he took a break from all the crazy online stuff, but he's back now, and he's starting up. It seems 2022 is a year where a lot of people are starting up their channels. Callum is now Titans TV is back. Imam Tahudi seems to be active. A lot of people are now picking up their social media again. Maybe 2022 is going to be a year of comebacks. Some interesting debates, some educated debates. Because I'll be perfectly honest with you, I'm getting sick to death of having to have the only choices that I have for live sort of panels is people like Rodney K, or Real, or Jedi. Those seem to be the three main things. Oh my God, the legend, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Hassan Yildiz, at 3:27, he is online on my chat. What is going on? That is insane. How is it that are you guys all insomniacs? Am I just, is it that I just got a massive group of insomniacs watching my shit here these days? I don't know. Anyway, big up to Hassan. There is a panel if anyone's interested. I love you, man. Love you. Anyway, but yeah, I like Callum. I like to have him produce some good panel shows where people can actually have a decent high level conversation. I'm sick of having to sift through shit like Esau's bollocks and Brian Hurl's nonsense in order to come across any decent conversations. And I'll be honest, a few times on Real's channel you get a few good people, but mostly it's just again a lot of low level shit. And Jedi's, I'll be perfectly honest with you, I mean, the biggest thing that has happened to Jedi's channel, here's a fucking thing. The biggest thing that happened to on Jedi's channel recently was where Maku, who calls himself the Nubian sniper, had a debate with Shaka Ra. Sorry. Excuse me. Now, Shaka Ra, oh my God, Sam M, what the fuck is going on here? What is happening, people? Why are you people still awake? Shouldn't you all be asleep? I thought I'd be talking to me tonight. Literally just myself, as just like the only idiot up at 3 in the morning on a Saturday, and ruining his Sunday. And yet, here is everyone showing up. Damn. Oh, damn, I didn't know you were in mod. Hold on. Okay. Go for it, Go for it, Mr. Hassan. Do your thing. Just you remember the Spider-Man line? With great power comes great responsibility. Just remember that, Hassan. But anyway, sleep is for wimps. That's what it is. So where was I? Yeah, I'm just getting sick of these low-level conversations with idiots who, don't have two IQs to rub together. So I'm just glad. I'm just happy that there's going to be hopefully, a bit more effort put in by these other groups, people like Callum and others. Now, Sarah Garvey has never really gone away. Sarah Garvey is very much active in Instagram as well as YouTube. It's just Sarah Garvey doesn't really do open panel shows. He's very he just does his rants, or he uploads a video where he's been to other people's podcasts, but he doesn't. He says he's going to do one. He's going to start the call-in shows and stuff where people can telephone him. I'll be honest, I would prefer to have some kind of StreamYard link than a telephone, but I don't know. Whatever, however he's going to work it, maybe that might be something. I was chatting in his text the last time Sarah Garvey was live. And yeah, so maybe that might be something interesting. But either way, I'm glad. As I say, I'm glad that I hope Callum really comes back with full force and he doesn't like half-ass it. He comes back with like, you know, regular shows. I really hope so because I really, you know, I'll be honest, I'm too lazy to run shows. I'm just too lazy. I can't be asked. Look at this. It's 3 in the morning. It's because I've got insomnia and I just wanted to rant about some shit. And I honestly thought I'm just going to talk to myself for about an hour. Well, how many hours? Oh, fuck me. I'm an hour and a half in already. I thought I'm just going to talk to myself for an hour and it will like relax me and just like counting sheep. I'll eventually pass out with no one here. But it seems people are here. Look at KRS. Good morning. This is insane. I have no idea what's going on. But I should. The problem is now you're going to encourage me to do more shows at 2 in the morning, and I can't do shows at 2 in the morning. I got work in the morning. It just happens to be a Saturday night. Maybe Saturdays and Fridays I can do 2 in the morning shows. But anyway, as far as yeah, better conversations. I hope 2022 is going to be the year of good, high-level, decent conversations about topics that matter: politics, religion, morality, ethics, all of that stuff, rather than just moronic rantings of people like Esau and Brian Hurl. That's just fucking annoying. As far as what I was talking about, this chap, this you know, Kenny Rogers or Kenny Borner, his totality of his arguments. Now, you know, this whole debate is an hour and 55 minutes. I'm clearly not going to go through this whole hour and 55 minutes. And unfortunately, I didn't timestamp anything because I just did this ad hoc just now, and it just came to my head. But the basic premise for Kenny's arguments for this, morning KRS, was that David Wood is a racist and an Islamophobe, and that you shouldn't listen to him. That's pretty much the summation of his entire argument. He made no actual cases. The only case that he tried to make was that Muslim scholars, not the Sahaba, not the first sort of founding people who wrote the most respected texts in Islam, which is the hadiths. After the Quran, it's the hadiths and the tafsirs, people like Ibn Kathir and stuff. None of them argue that Aisha was older than 9 years old when Muhammad consummated the marriage. None of them disagree. Even Aisha herself, there are hadiths from Aisha with chain of narrations, very well documented, 11 chains of narration and all of that stuff. It is as solid as any hadith can get as far as the Sahih hadiths are concerned. Aisha herself says that I was 9 when the Prophet took me from my parents' house. She was betrothed to him at 6, and it was 9 when he took her to consummate the marriage. No one disputes this. No one in the Middle East disputes this. But Kenny Borner's argument is that scholars in Islam do dispute this after the hadiths had written, hundreds of years after the hadiths are written, and especially the scholars in modern era, in the modern age, who live mostly in the West, who are not really Middle Eastern, because in the Middle East, Aisha's age is not even a contention. They have no problem with it. It's fine. She was 9. Yeah, that's fine. It's the Prophet. You can't debate the Prophet. The Prophet can sleep with whoever the hell he fucking feels like. So, as far as that's concerned, he has no problem. Oh, damn, I'm getting questions thrown at me. But I just want to simply say this. The only evidence that Kenny Bonner brought forward that scholars are disputing this is from modern scholars. From not contemporaries of Muhammad, not even those who are contemporaries of people like Ibn Kathir or even Bukhari, not even contemporaries of him. Modern 20th, 21st century scholars, because they're embarrassed, because it's a point of embarrassment for Muslims to admit that their prophet effectively married and had sex with a 9-year-old. It's just something that is that definitely modern era is what's it called? Abraham bombed 3. Yeah, but that's messed up too. That is definitely messed up. That's why you shouldn't follow in Abraham's example, but you certainly shouldn't follow in Muhammad's example. But this is what I mean. That's where we are today. Anyway, I'm just going to read out Miss Banksy's message that says, "What do you think of Tommy Robinson teaming up with Steve Bannon and co for his expose and co for his expose?" Well, I saw him. I actually posted, I think, the video of him on Steve Bannon on Getter. And by the way, anyone who wants to see some real conversations take place, get on Getter. Getter is the Twitter that Twitter was always meant to be, the free Twitter, shall we say, the open debate Twitter, the Twitter where you can actually have a conversation without feeling like you're gonna get banned at any second now. So yeah, if you want to get an alternative that actually is a platform that you can actually say what you feel comfortably, get on Gitter. Yeah, but BitChute, dude, BitChute is shite. Their app is shite. You can't, Hassan, dude. Their app is off. They're not there yet. BitChute needs funding or better team or whatever, but they need development. Their app is not good enough. But Getter at the moment is a place where, at least for now, it seems fairly open. Of course, I think Telegram is probably the place where all of this stuff is there, but that's a different thing. By the way, they're coming for Telegraph. There's a lot of articles being written about Apple, putting pressure on Apple and Google to ban Telegraph from their app stores. And I'm sure Gitter will be on there soon as well. Gitter is my sad tongue. Yeah, I suppose there is something about that. I think it is Israeli owned. So I don't know. But I mean, at the moment, it's at least a workable, functioning Twitter alternative. BitChute is not a Twitter alternative. Neither is like, I don't know. I've stopped using Gab. Gab is just not. I just never really sat well with me. I will tell you, there's another one, speakerscorner.online, which I am occasionally a staff for. So yeah, go to speakerscorner.online if you wish to have a Facebook alternative. But at the moment, yeah, Gitter is just, I don't know. It seems to be working. It works. It's functional. But you're right. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes on that? And maybe that's a psyop. A lot of people were saying that Gitter is a psyop to try to get people away from Gab. So it's an alternative to not Twitter. It's actually an alternative to Gab, to try to push people to Getter rather than Gab, because they would rather have the various conversations that are taking place on Gab to be taking place on Gitter, because the Mossad and the American agencies can monitor that, and maybe Gab doesn't allow them to monitor Gab. So there is that. And also, I mean, I'm sure the Russians monitor KV and what's it called, Telegram. So they probably share the information of that with the various different agencies as they see fit. But maybe Gab is the only one that truly doesn't play ball with them, and so they would rather have Gitter substitute. I don't know what Wendy's doing. How do you mean? I don't get it. Did you hear what I said earlier on about that? Hey, dude, there's a link for the Hangout if you want to not Hangout, Google Meets. If anybody wants to have a live chat with me, jump on, because there's a delay and there's a lag between the text and what I'm saying on the mic. I hope you guys realize that there is a there's a gap. So what you type, and when I say it, by the time you hear it, several bits of conversation have gone by. Wendy basically got bullied by Brian Hurl and Esau on Rodney K's channel with Rodney K's consent, to the extent in which she actually felt like committing suicide. Her sons found her at 2 in the morning in front of her dead husband's grave with a suicide note in her hand. That's the story that I've been told. And so, yeah, shit got real. Shit got serious. If it's all true, and I have no reason to doubt the stories. So, if it is, then yeah. We censored people. What we censored people are a market now. Yeah, exactly, Jack. Big up, Jack. By the way. Yeah. There's a market for the censored. But to be honest, it's not just the censored. It's a market for the people that used to be on YouTube who were fun. You know, people who were actually quite good fun on YouTube. But the problem is, the people on YouTube who have now fled YouTube, now either they've been banned so they can't be on YouTube, or they fled YouTube because it was just, too censorious and shit, and Twitter and all the rest. A lot of them are on paywall sites. Like, I'll give you an example. My favorite guy, Atheism is Unstoppable. Oh, we have a customer. Sorry, guys. Let me just let Hassan on. Big up, Mr. H. How are you? Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hassan? Hello? Okay. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Oh, ha. Yes, I can hear you. Big up, Hassan. How are you, mate? It's been a long time, brother. It's been a long time.
Indeed, bro. It has indeed, man. Thank God this COVID bullshit's over, eh? Thank God.
I doubt it's over, dude. This is just a little brief stop. This is just a little gap.
Man, I think this once Prince Andrew's being put away, I think this is going to be totally over as well, mate. I think this is all a little lockdown for us to.
Yeah, that's interesting. This Prince Andrew situation. Holy shit.
Hey, and it just. Do you know the way this thing is, though? I've got a dirty feeling he's going to get exonerated for all of this. I don't know what it is, but there's just something that's just telling me that they're going to get a whole load of people to go, oh, look, he's a pedo. And then it's going to come out that something like Virginia Gervais, like this weird, like, person, because they're already coming out with, like, defaming her before her trials even come about, and that would never happen in like, a case like this, innit? Like, normally.
Well, exactly. It would never make it to court.
Exactly.
It would be whitewashed somewhere down the line, but I don't know. I mean, maybe the Queen took all his Royal Highness sort of titles and all the privileges away, so that they could, because they knew they had a case they could win the case, and so in order to clear any rumors that might emerge, because as long as Andrew hasn't, been subjected to questioning and cross examination, then the rumors and the public opinion, the court of, he would have to win in the court of public opinion, which there's a good chance he's going to lose that, because it's not a fair court. But in a real court, in a real situation where he has to actually answer, and if he and I think they are so confident that he's going to win that particular scenario, is that will then give him a solid clear, like, I've been cleared, and I even had my royal titles taken away from me and royal privileges taken away, so that I can go and actually give the truth, and then they'll restore his titles all back to him, and then he would have this, like, yes, I've been cleared kind of shit properly, and the court of public opinion at that point, then it doesn't matter, because they can always say he's
just
done
check
it.
this out. you think about it this way. You look at Savile, the Savile connection to
Yeah.
Prince Charles, and you tell me there's no familiarity. And weirdly, at the time of that, there was all these kind of hoax scandals that are going off just to divert us off. And it always
Yeah.
is. It always is. These people are never going to give up the reign. And
Oh
look
yeah.
at Virginia Giuffre, 17 years old. Really, are we all forgot that 17 is not really like that
Well,
kind of age where the CPS would even consider picking up this
well, no,
kind
no,
of thing.
no. This is
Guess
not.
what? In a year's time, she'll be picked. But she's lucky. Well, I say she's lucky. She's not very lucky. I'm wrong in regards to all of this. That she's this traffic person. You understand me? That hasn't been caught for what 25 fucking years now, according to how long these people have been doing it for. And what we gonna go on? They're gonna come out with her memories book, pages. They
Exactly.
didn't take her in for the Maxwell trial, so she's already not up to their standards in regards to it. As I say, mate, it's just I don't know. And then once Andrew's trial collapses, you'll see Ghislaine Maxwell out on the streets of Knightsbridge picking up young kids as always, mate. So
Well, I don't know.
that's the way I see it.
I don't know if she's going to be able to go back to her old profession, but certainly there's a good chance. I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't know. I think that Ghislaine Maxwell is going to end up,
I don't think she's in prison
hanging
anyway.
herself accidentally on purpose.
No, I don't think she's in prison, mate. And I definitely don't believe Epstein killed himself.
Exactly. But
No
I think this is the thing. There's a meme going around with Ghislaine Maxwell's picture
way.
saying Ghislaine Maxwell from 19. What was the year? I think it was like something like 1972 to a few weeks from now. Like her time, her date of birth is like in a few weeks.
Exactly. There's no
where
way.
she commits suicide, quote
Yeah, no.
unquote.
Mate, as I say, man, there's like her brother, and as well as that, like Dershowitz out there. It's like it's comical. I mean, the BBC doesn't know that Dershowitz is a plaintiff in one of her claims, and he's not just a lawyer. This guy is like a top shit hot lawyer. All right, guess what? I hate the guy's fucking ethics, but when you look at his results, you can't really fucking argue with him, man. He's annihilated them, and you got this girl that taking £500,000 in according to her testimony, and her friend's already coming out with she's a bit of a money grabber and an attention seeker. I mean, all the notes that going back to the guy that did the Westminster pedo scandal, which ended up, it's got all the same tones, man. It's got all the same tones. But again, as I say, man, like these people are not going to give up the power, man. Like, they're going to want to keep fucking kids. Abraham's brothers.
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, I think they as soon as the Jeffrey Epstein and the Ghislaine Maxwell issues arose, they obviously cut ties with them. But of course, you think Jeffrey Epstein's island is the only island out there? I guarantee you there are dozens, if not hundreds, of other islands out there. Islands in Malaysia, in Southeast Asia, Vietnam, Cambodia sort of areas. I bet you there are plenty of little islands all around there where the law
and Banksy
doesn't apply.
And that's not including the ones where you've got underground societies, and I mean literally underground societies where they're milling these babies out. Like, this is what I'm trying to say. And like we say it, and it sounds so fucking fictional. You're like, what? Are you seriously fucking? Yeah. What you're telling me? There's no cave people that we've not had this stuff. We've not had these people that have been shunned from society. We've got a fucking island where some people tried to fucking board onto, and the guy got hacked to shit. I believe it was some pasta or some shit. We got some places where humans don't want to be seen by other humans. Understand? And like you said, like the islands all around the world. There's
Exactly.
thousands of Polynesian islands. There's thousands of them. Like which one do you go to? Which one do you?
Exactly. I mean, obviously, they have to pick the ones where they can have a cooperative or a sufficiently corrupt government that this falls under. Because at the end of the day, what is this? This whole thing is about laws. Like, where can they meet these girls? Because, like, for example, Prince Andrew's situation. The reason he's even in the shit for this in any shape or form is because he was alleged to have sex with this 17-year-old in America. And under American laws, she's not an adult until 21. So, this, and even then, I'm not even sure exactly because the age of consent is different in different places. And also the fact that she may have been, a part of trafficking. Yeah. So these are the reasons why they're doing this. Now, you go to some South American country where there's an island nearby, and the South American country is a deeply corrupt country where you can just pay the politicians and pay the, I don't know, El Presidente or whoever the fuck it is, then that's it. You're in the fucking clear. You can commit the worst God-forsaken acts. You can fucking literally summon the devil with the blood of virgins, and they wouldn't give a shit.
What do you mean, like McAfee?
Yeah. The guy from the yes.
Yeah, like
yes.
literally, he's on an island with young kids around.
No, he's dead now, dude. He's dead.
Yeah, well, he's dead now.
Yeah, but when he was alive, yeah,
he was held a fucking hero.
Yeah.
This is what I'm trying to say. They do it in front of everyone, and then go, "Well, we didn't know." So, what, you telling me you didn't fucking realise that she was under 16? You can't.
Exactly.
You don't all see it because it ain't your fucking kid. People don't worry.
Yeah.
It's different if they saw their own sister under their arm.
Dude.
It'd be a different fucking story. But until then, they ain't gonna do shit, man.
Dude, let me tell you the kind of things. These are the things that they're even that they say in the open, and I can extrapolate that there's even more fuckeries going on behind it. Now, there's a video. It's on YouTube as well. Anyone can go see it. It's got what's her name? The girl from that film Speed. Bollocks. Some Bullock. Sandra Bullock.
Oh, what, the Adrenochrome?
Yeah. Yes, yeah. Did you see that? That the stuff that she injects that's supposed to have come, quote unquote, from the foreskins of like Korean children or some shit.
Yeah. Little does she know that that's not how it comes
exactly.
How? Banksy, would you like to tell them, or would you like me to?
I don't know. Okay, I've got my suspicions, but you tell me if maybe you've got facts. So how do they come out of?
From what I understand, it's from the adrenal glands, and it's only extractable from an age range. Well, there's a maximum specification where children that are from birth rate to, I believe it's 2 to 3 years old, they've got like a insulin or an adrenaline chemical in their body. And when pituitary gland, my apologies, it's from the pituitary gland, and where this is like a instant pain reliever for children. But it's also got special properties. And guess what? You can only extract this if this kid's in pain, because
the body produces it when they're in pain. So they have to put these children in painful situations so that they can then extract this shit.
They call painful situations to what we call
pretty much torture, I would imagine. We're talking, they torture children.
And Sandra Bullock's out there saying that, she recommends this rejuvenation process, understand me, that comes not from circumcised Korean children, but from children. And there's another flip to this, that this adrenochrome is not something that it's like replenishable. So from what I understand, it's once the procedure's in, it's extraction. And from my understanding, and again, I've not seen this for myself, but once something like that is out, well, it's left with something lifeless. Like it's like imagine taking all your pain relief away from your body. You're not going to really survive,
So
and especially a child of that age
yeah. So you
has
expect
got
these children
less
just
life.
die basically under this procedure as
Well,
they extract them.
I'm kind of guessing. I'm like you. It's not hard to imagine, people in high power positions, and we're assuming that these people actually live on islands. I mean, like
Yeah.
there's people that as I say, there was a expose on London sewage systems. Uh, the average person, I think London's what 40, 40 feet deep, maybe. There's people that are going back 120, 130 feet into London's
Sewage system.
That's below the Thames, bro. That's,
Yeah.
you got to go, but like the Thames is above you then, and I wouldn't have thought that would have been possible, but supposedly
Well,
it is.
no, it is because you know the Blackwall Tunnel.
Yeah.
I used to go through that quite a bit 10 years ago, and the Blackwall Tunnel. There's two. There's one that goes from South London to North London, and the other one that goes from north to south. And the northbound one, the one that you go from South London to north, well, that was built long before the second one, which is the one that the traffic goes from North London to South. Now that first one that was built, it was built. If you go into it, you'll see there are very sharp turns. And so you can't see the end of the tunnel very easily because it has twists. Now, from what I understand, the reason those twists and turns were put in was because they were built for horses. So that the two lanes that's in the Blackwall Tunnel now, which is both for going one direction and the other tunnel from going the other, but before when it was first built, it was for horses going in both directions. So one lane was coming from north to south, the other lane was going from south to north. And the reason they got the twists and turns is so that the horses can't see the end of the tunnel, because if they see the end of the tunnel, horses get spooked inside tunnels. And if they if they see the end of the tunnel, they'll bolt and they'll try to run to the exit.
Wow.
So it's so it's got sharper turns. Whilst the other tunnel, because it was built during the time of cars, it doesn't have those. It's actually a much straighter route to the other side, because they weren't built for horses. They were built for cars. So this is how old. I'm just trying to say how old some of these structures are. And this Blackwall Tunnel was built, I forgot exactly, but it was in the 1800s. So it was way before the time of the car, and it was underneath the Thames. So they were building structures underneath the Thames or below Thames level. A long time ago.
I mean, so like if you are building mega structures like that, for example, building somewhere where you can accommodate some, begging the phrase, but breeding women that are just mercilessly, promoted to reproduce all the time, so you can get that kind of thing. And from what I understand, that kind of medication, like that kind of supplement, shall I say, because I wouldn't call it medication, that kind of supplement, they're not bloody cheap things, man. I mean, and rightfully so as well, like to stop this kind of shit happening. But you could easily build an empire making that kind of money, and I'm kind of guessing they're not going to put it through the tax as well. Do you understand me? Like, and who's doing it? Where's it getting done?
Well, this is the craziness. But I mean, let's be honest. In these developing countries or third world nations, Cambodia, Vietnam, all throughout the Middle East, throughout South America, life is worthless. Life is literally worthless. So they could literally set up entire cattle farms almost, with women getting pregnant and these babies taken out, and have these adrenal glands, or pituitary glands milked for this, product, and these bodies just discarded and just burnt. Nobody would care. There are literally millions of children that die every year and that nobody even knows about. Nobody even gives a shit about.
And what's the point? You got some organisations. I'll give you the most famous example. There was a little reportage. Now, I tried to go into the fact side of it, but I mean, here's an example where you can get kids. I mean, you get these kids that are in care at the moment. I mean, in our UK ones, we've got something on that estimate around 70,000 children going missing. Not
There you go.
not missing, and every fucking year. That's
That's what I mean.
That's a massive number.
That is humongous. 70,000. When? How? What's the period? A year. Yeah.
Year.
There you go.
That is not. That's. Just think. And another thing as well, they don't tell you this. Like, for example, like recently I saw the catching of Joseph Pushko, the bloody murderer that did that Irish fiddler in Ireland. Irish school teacher that plays the fiddle.
Oh, okay.
I swear to God, it was so beautiful to see a whole crowd jeering on, you know, the taking away of this scum cunt away into a prison. Like, we should be getting back to those days. Like, nowadays, like people scared to, like question people. Like, is this your kid? What's going on? Like, we need to get back to these days, and Sammy, and the sooner the better, really, Banksy, because it's getting to a point where it's getting too much. Like kids.
Well, this is the scary thing.
No
like,
commodity to them at all now.
Like, I think because we have this tool of information exchange or communication now, like the internet, which we never really had in previous eras. This is why this information is now being disseminated sort of quicker and much more rapidly, because we can talk to each other and we can say this has happened, that has happened. If that had happened to you in the 90s or in the 80s, if your child suddenly vanished, you were kind of on your own, and you were you were kind of what's it called? You were surrounded by just the people within your local facility, local area or whatever, wherever you lived, whatever reach you had. Unless you were a celebrity, unless you were a politician or someone that could get on TV or radio, you had no other reach. You couldn't talk to that many other people unless you were allowed to be on these media forms. Nowadays, nobody gives a shit about TV anymore. You start your own YouTube channel, you start your own Twitter or Facebook or whatever, and tell everyone that you know, and beyond the little bubble of people that you know, what's going on, and that then explodes much quicker. Especially nowadays, you can have viral videos, etc. But you can at least tell your story, and you're not forgotten, you're not lost, you're not your tragic event doesn't go dismissed.
It goes to history, does it? The one flip side to that, though, Banksy, I mean, I think you might agree to this, is like there should be like a place where you could at least get your story somewhat verified. I mean, like there was one of these, I forget the name of the publication now, but they normally sort of like go into reporters' notes and sort of like decipher which could be right, which could not be right, and sort of like get in contact with the witnesses again and like find out what was said and how it was said and all the rest of it. But there should be like a
fact checkers.
Yeah, like fact checkers where but because you get a lot. This is another thing that really pisses me off. I mean, like, I sometimes scroll through Facebook. Dr. Fauci's going to get arrested. You go into it and
it's bullshit. The problem there is, and I think this is the critical problem, is that having your videos watched and go viral on either YouTube or Facebook now, it's monetized. It's a commodity. So because money is now involved, people are gonna fake shit in order to have them go viral, in order to
you mean like
make
the white
money.
helmet?
whatever, yeah, whatever people. There are people out there who will literally make shit up because they want to make money from that video, from that thing. So the problem now we have is twofold. We have a monetary incentive. Back in the day, in the early days of social media, if you will, because it was free, because you were never getting paid for this, the information you put out there, there was no incentive to lie. Why would I lie? There's nothing. I'm not going to get anything out of this. I'm just telling it like I see it. But nowadays there is an incentive. There's a financial incentive. The minute you put a financial incentive over something, you're gonna get people who want to game the system, who are not going to be honest about their agenda. They're not going to be honest about what they publish because they want cash. They want money. So unfortunately, it's a double-edged sword in this situation. YouTube started it. YouTube created YouTube partner systems so that the content creators of YouTube can make some money out of their effort, their content, which was considered to be a good thing because YouTubers deserve, they work hard. As a content creator myself, I can tell you, I've spent 7 to 8 hours in one sitting editing videos, and that's a whole day's work just to put up a video for no monetary return whatsoever, just to put up a video. So it's encouraging to get paid, because if you're getting paid, then you make more. And so that I can see the reasons. But now, because this thing has grown so much, this beast has become so massive, people are now looking at, how do I make money? How do I game the system so that I can put out shit videos, but I can make a ton of money? I mean, there were cartoons. I don't know if you ever saw this. This was on YouTube, where it seemed like a factory, like literally they had a production line set up to make these weird kind of Disney-looking cartoons, but they were really fucked up because one of them had an image of Mickey Mouse pissing into this hole, and on the in front of this wall, and on the other side of the wall, I don't know whether it was Minnie Mouse or Goofy with his mouth open, drinking Mickey's piss.
Oh.
This was some fucked up shit that was on YouTube for kids.
Thanks, Ego. But that's checking on us for like being able to allow ourselves to be marketed this way. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, that's another realization that I've reached to. We as a society are pretty sick. Like, like to the point where there's some people that are into all of that shit. Like, I know you're not. I know I'm not. You understand me? But guess what? There's some cunt that is.
Yeah.
And this is another thing that I think they've divided us so much as well. That we're not going to get like these really big things like sorted out. Like, just simple things. Like, like recent, like when I was here last, it was Islam, this, that, racism. Mate, there's one thing that needs to get sorted. The 1% need to start sharing what they have. That's basically it. That's the only problem that we've got, you understand me, is as long as it's fair, and I mean fair, you understand me, where people are like encouraged to move forward, we get the best of what we can and move in the right direction with the right narrative for a society that is happy to live with. The rest is bullshit. Like, genuine, like Mickey Mouse pissing into Goofy. In the grand scheme of things, you want to watch that stuff. Like, for example,
but these were made. These were made marketed towards children. These weren't made marketing towards adults. Yeah, I don't give a shit if Mickey wants to take a piss in Goofy's mouth if it's in some adult environment where adults are supposed to be watching this. This was for children. This was YouTube Kids qualified stuff, because that what they found is that children actually, like, we're talking, when I say children, I'm talking 6-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 5-year-olds, what even 1 or 2-year-olds. What parents do is they stick their iPad or their iPhone, and I've actually seen this, in front of the kid, and then
Nothing
they
wrong
just
with it.
put a video on and they put it on. You know how YouTube has this video, this thing where they play a video and then it plays another video, just rolls videos one after the other. Well,
Yeah.
these guys, they know that this parents do this,
Happens.
and so what they do is they market and they put the hashtags and everything in for these videos to appear in front of children. And when parents may watch something, I don't know, they might put on like Peppa Pig or some shit, but because the recommended videos just keep playing, eventually it gets to these crazy messed up videos, and the little child is still watching this shit, and the parents isn't even aware that the videos, the recommended videos, have come up with these nonsense, and they just get millions and millions of views out of them. I mean, children's videos literally get millions of views in a very short amount of time. So these guys were producing these insane stuff, and it seemed like, I think, I don't know, at the time, this was quite a few years back. At the time, I think, I don't know, it was either Philly DeFranco or other people who reported it, and it seemed like these were all coming out of an Indian account
Yeah.
from India, and it seemed almost like they had a production line because these videos were coming out like crazy, one after the other. And animation is usually quite, it takes a long time. Most animators on YouTube produce maybe one or two videos a month sometimes because it just takes so long to do. But these were all coming out like boom, 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 boom. And it seemed like they had like probably like a small production line set up where they were just, because these images were kind of cut and paste kind of thing, quite easily to, cut and paste around. And they were just moving them about to different backgrounds, different locations, and then just churning them out. But yeah, inside, in amongst these images, some of them may have been perfectly fine, some of them may have been just wholesome. But in amongst them, there were crazy shit like Mickey taking a piss inside, I don't know, Goofy's mouth. And it's like, what the fuck, what is this crap?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean, dude, fair enough. You can say that YouTube kind of blocked all of that and got a hold of those sort of things once it blew up. But right now as we speak, there was one girl a few weeks ago. She was selling her farts in a jar. She
Yeah,
was
I heard about
farting
that.
in a jar, and she was selling her farts in a jar. Now, I actually found the
But it's no
video.
more weirder than people selling their soiled underwear.
I know, I
Frankly,
know, I know. That's been going on for
it's the
years.
same old shit. It's
Yeah,
like, no offense. And the weirdest thing is, if the truth was half the fact, it's most probably some fucking old biddy with like a fucking collection of drawers that she's fucking mustered up and fucking couldn't
yeah,
get rid of it, and fucking her son's caught onto an idea of making loads of money. Like,
yeah. Holy shit, that's fucked up.
it's
Uh,
what I mean,
but
man.
but the
Like,
thing is, with this girl who farted in the jar, was
yeah.
that she was on a diet of eggs, beans, and protein shakes. It started to give her major intestinal problems, and she almost died. She had to go to hospital, so she had to stop farting and living off that diet and farting in jars on because she was making. I think in the last thing I saw was somewhere in the region of nearly $200,000 a month. $200,000 a month from farting in jars. But the fucked up thing is, now there's a new girl who takes a small shit in a jar, and now
I
she's
love it.
selling her shit in a jar. And
Brilliant.
she's riding off the back of the girl who was farting in jars. It's like,
That's what I'm
this is
saying.
happening. This is
You're
our
like, again
fucking
though,
world.
Banksy. Like again though, Banksy. This is how it is. Like it's getting to the point where depravity's gone beyond parity. Like again, like it won't be long before someone's going to be selling their sanitary pads. It won't be long before mums sell nappies. And then it won't be long before parents sell their kids, and it won't be long before
Fuck,
you sell your grandma. And more to the point, we're somewhat selling our grandma already. We send them to the home. We know that these places ain't good. That most of them are run by fucking war people that come from war-torn countries and expect like outstanding service from them. It's like
it's fucked up, man.
mums and dads working all the hours, God sends, gives it to an education system that is rife with fucking abuse. Like, everything's on its head, man. Like everything. Like a woman shitting in a jar. It's well done for her. At least she's fucking found a way of earning a bit of money out
Dear
of
Lord.
the fucking idiots out there.
Apparently, according to Miss Banksy, and I said I didn't keep a track of the shit in the jar girl, but she's made 38 grand already.
Yeah.
She made £38,000 or $1,000. I don't know. I guess it must be $1,000. From shitting in a jar.
Yeah.
And by the way, most of the farting girls customers, because she had she was holding like some kind of special hangout or something for her biggest like fans and customers. 90% were in India.
Yeah. No, I don't. I get.
Like, holy
that
shit.
I get.
Holy fucking shit.
Was she a white woman?
Yeah, she's like an American, I
could
think.
imagine a whole load of Indians watching that fat
I
ass
swear to
flying
God.
away and whacking one off something
I
solid.
swear to God. I
could
mean,
imagine that
this
going,
is
man.
like, because I don't know about you, but I am anti-simping. I despise men who simp for women. I don't know if you know simping. Simping is, okay, in the modern vernacular, in a modern way, in the modern times, it's displayed itself as men who will spend money on women who they, mostly I say nowadays is online, where they see these girls on the internet, like girls in Twitch or girls on YouTube, showing a little bit of their cleavage or wearing skimpy clothes, and they send them money, hoping that one day this girl will notice him and will somehow date him, even though the girl will never ever in a million years will date that man and will even notice that man, because she doesn't give a shit. She's out there just to make cash. These men are all just walking ATM machines to this girl.
It's our version of sending money via a foreign pen pal friend that you're never going to meet.
Pretty much. If you go back in the day, yeah, before the internet, I guess we were all any man who sent money to a girl over a pen pal was simping. Yeah. But what I mean is, these men are spending real money, serious. These women are making serious bank. I mean, $200,000 for jars of farts. There are women on TikTok, on Twitch, who are making literally millions of dollars a year for being Twitch thoughts. They wear skimpy clothes. They pretend to play some fucking game, which they don't really play. They're just there with their fucking skimpy outfits, and men are just bam, 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 just throwing money at them. These little simpy fucks. But this is what I mean. This is why I think there should be a concerted effort and a concerted campaign.
There should be a proper tax on that. Instead of worrying about that, bro, if there's someone stupid enough to spend money, you know what? Fucking tax the shit out of them.
Well, this is
another thing that I'm for. Tax them, man.
Yeah, well, this is the thing.
You got Bezos. That's man. How many lifetimes does that motherfucker need before his money's spent?
Well, the thing is, when you say, something I've come to realize in recent times is there is people who are asset rich, and there are those who have actual cash, like someone like Bezos, someone like Elon Musk. They probably have several millions of cash in their account, but they don't have $150 billion. That's what their stock is worth. They're estimating Bezos' worth based on the stock prices of his company. He doesn't actually have that money in his account.
Forget all the money. It's the power that comes with it as well, and the fucking tax rebates and all the rest of that.
Well, yeah,
but
what I mean is, just because you own a company and that stock is valued at, I think it was for Elon Musk, he said it on a podcast, I think it's worth like $250 billion, and he owns X amount, I think 20% of Tesla, and so based on the fact that he owns 20% of Tesla stocks, they calculate that because Tesla stocks are worth X, he has this much. They
always say that you could always assess it on what they could borrow.
Well, possibly what they could borrow.
Got a yacht.
Or
literally, if you sold, you could.
Or they could sell some stocks, and they could sell some shares and then they would have the converted into cash. But
And
actually,
also, these people are not paying any tax, which is just like
well,
the reason why
yeah,
they're so
I
fucking
mean,
rich as well. So,
obviously, yeah,
I
their
mean,
taxes are when it comes
I
to the
think the last
percentage of
time I
money
believe
that
it was
they earn.
a guy in the Shoreditch market stall holder paid more tax than the guy Jeff
You and
Bezos
I
did.
probably pay more tax than Elon
That's not
Musk
right, is it?
or Jeff Bezos or even Richard Branson, because what they, I mean, don't get me wrong, when I say you and I probably pay more tax, that is in the percentage of what we earn. So compared to the percentage of tax that I pay from based on what I earn, compared to probably Richard Branson, he probably pays about 20% tax, while I'm paying like 40% tax. So
No, I believe that illusion got bust as well when they actually showed his. No, there was a market stall holder that actually paid more tax than Jeff Bezos did, and I think it was something like £800. And I think there's people, the money that these people pay tax is nothing.
are you actually
I
saying
think,
in the actual amount? Because
yeah, the amount. I think by the time they work it, the government owes them money.
well, I mean, I know that Amazon managed to, I think, through clever accounting, save something like 3 or 4 billion
There you go.
pounds in. Oh no, not billion. I forgot. Maybe it was like 3 or 400 million pounds in taxes. Like they didn't have to pay enormous amount of tax in the millions, because they managed to fiddle their accounts well. But the thing is that this is the main thing you got to realize. You and I are most likely, I certainly am, is on what's known as pay as you earn tax system. So we get taxed before we even see the money. The tax is
Yeah.
already taken out. Whilst a person like Bezos or owners of corporations, they get taxed based on the profits
Awesome.
of what they earn. So you get your whole money first. You get all the money that you earn yourself first. You then spend that money on expenses, and you expense all of those things through the corporation. And then whatever is left as profit is when the taxman comes and looks at the profit and says, okay, from this profit, I'm going to tax you X amount. Usually, if they've got their money as part of an investment, I think the maximum amount that you can get taxed on is about 20% anyway on investments. So, like if you're in the stocks and shares market, if you're doing the stock exchange, the most the taxman can take off you is 20% of what you make from from the profits of your stock. So if you invest £1 million in stocks, it's that £1 million doesn't get touched. It's whatever you earn on top of that £1 million that gets
Be honest
taxed
with you, honestly,
20%.
I see. I don't know. Did you see the one where it says the town that went tax free or something? It had some headline to it, and it was three businesses that you go to three different countries, and that capital gains tax is no longer
That's
a
it.
thing.
No, it
Income tax
is.
is no longer a thing. Like nothing. In fact, they said that it can get to the point that all right, it's not to the point where it's a lot of money that you can't rinse the government for like a big wage packet, but it does work out that they owe you money, like you're like,
Yeah.
what
I
the
mean,
fuck?
if
Like
you,
you
yeah,
got
exactly.
this, like the guys open, we go, well, yeah, you've opened infrastructure. Like they do it in a way that they put it down as that it's put infrastructure in there, they've created
Mm.
jobs, and that your economy can't do. Like, for example, Amazon. Like, you can imagine Amazon being able to pull a deal like that very easily. It's like, bro, we've got 130 companies open in your country.
Yeah.
We tax from us, bro. You fucking joking?
Well,
You owe us
the
money.
other thing is that they actually have their headquarters in usually safe tax havens, like in Ireland, like in Isle of Man, places like that. So the company isn't
Virgin
actually
Islands and all that.
operating. Yeah, the Cayman Islands. The Cayman
Yeah,
Islands
the
are
Cayman
very
Islands. My
famous
apologies.
because the
Yeah.
company isn't actually effectively operating inside Britain, for example. They're actually operating in Island
A
or
server
Cayman
room in
Island or,
Ireland.
yeah, Jersey or Isle of Man or whatever. And so they're under those tax laws. And those tax laws happen to be very favorable. And with some clever accounting, boom,
I
they
mean, I
barely pay
know
any
this one
tax.
girl that used to, and I'm not going to mention it, but she used to work for a very famous London corporation. And I kid you not, like She goes, "Has?" She goes, "You pay loads more tax than the average person." Like, not, and that was when I was like not earning like big money. She goes, "These people don't pay nothing." On top of that, they get a tax rebate that you most probably could just sit on for the year and like not worry about anything. But for a company, it's nothing, right? These wages, and that's
yeah,
gone. Yeah,
yeah.
it's not worth going into that business for that side of it. But it's
Yeah, I mean, the main thing with corporations, and this was in the book, this is actually in the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The biggest thing is to avoid paying taxes. This is what the rich have set up all of these things for. Corporations were set up so that rich people can invest in certain things, but they would minimize their risks of investing in a particular company, and they would manage to get tremendous tax benefits, as in basically they don't pay any tax or very little tax. But I will say this, even if Bezos pays virtually no tax, or at least appears to be, for the most part you would find that they do actually pay, some of them in the millions, but it all depends on the businessman. I mean, Elon Musk recently said that I will pay more tax than anyone in the history of America, because he seems to, deal with his accounting pretty fairly. At least that's the impression that he's giving. That's
don't
that's
believe
what I'm
that.
saying. That's the PR. That's the impression that he's giving.
PR, man.
But I know, like Mohammed Al Fayed, who owned Harrods, on one, it was on the Ali G show or something. He says this year I paid £20 million in taxes. So there are people who do pay a shitload. But of course, I bet you any money though, compared to the percentage of the amount that he actually earned that year, £20 million may actually only be like maybe 10 to 15% of what he actually earned. So you may find that actually, even though Mohammed Al Fayed says I'm paying £20 million in tax, that's only like 10% or 15% or 20% of his actual total income of that year. So he's still, in percentage wise, paying a lot less than I fucking am. I can guarantee you that. And that's why PAYE, I'll be honest, I mean, someone put in the text as well, the guys are, PAYE is the sucker's way of paying tax. It is the way the middle class pay tax.
Like, the point that I was trying to get at is that they should really tax the shit out of the rich. No.
Sorry, dude, what happened? Someone said no. Someone disagreed with PAYE. Seems Hassan had to mute up. Someone's talking in the back.
Yeah, don't worry, it's me. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, no. It's just someone was saying no. I thought maybe someone was disagreeing with PAYE.
No. There's none of that, bro. What I was gonna say is, the point that I was trying to get at was, like these people that are paying like these women like extraordinary amounts of money for like services rendered, let's call it. Like, there should be like a heavy tax on these kind of people. Like, you obviously got way too much money or time in your life to be worrying about life and worrying about women fighting in jars and selling. You understand me? They should just get taxed the shit out of. You mind me asking you one thing, Banksy? What's Raj and the lot doing? Have you heard anything?
Raj was on Jupiter's panel last night, actually. Was it last? No, tonight. What am I talking about? Well, when I say last night, I mean on Saturday. We're deep into Sunday morning now. So yeah, he was on Wendy's. He was chatting away. He's apparently had some family issues, so he's stopped doing a lot of streams and stuff. But he's now finished with his family sort of issues or whatever he had, and now he's gonna start doing some panels and shows and stuff again. I don't know about going back to Speaker's Corner. I'm not sure if he's gonna go back there. But
that's all fake as shit down there anyway.
Yeah, it's to be honest with you, it's not just as fake. It's just the same shit every week. It's the same arguments, the same bollocks, the same everything. It's like it's Groundhog Day. It's like a loop.
exactly
it's
what it's going to be.
yeah, it's boring now. I've stopped watching, to be honest with you, a lot of the shit on Saturday. Occasionally, I just search to see what's is anything happening on Speaker's Corner, because there's several like channels who go there almost every week, and they do they do live streams. There's Busker, DCCI does produce videos, but they don't really do live streaming. Quite often they pre-record and then they upload, like, that night or the next
Censored.
day. So yeah, so you don't get the live feed of exactly what's happening on the day. But Busker does a live stream. Subject Access never goes there. Another Alternative is another channel, a new channel that goes there. And then there's a few Muslim ones as well that do live streams. But to be honest, live streaming is like 2 or 3 people who do live streaming. The rest, they pre-record, because especially for bigger channels on YouTube, live streaming can be bad because you could get a strike. Yeah, because you can't control what people say. You don't know if they're going to say something, especially if they're talking about the COVID and the vaccines and stuff. YouTube hates that those types of conversations. So it might, give you a strike. They might ban you. They might block you, depending on what people are saying. That is, but so that's why these bigger channels, they don't risk live streaming. They record or pre-record, and then they make sure they edit out some shit that they have to, and then they live stream, and then they upload. So I don't know. I mean, it's a mixed bag. Yeah, like COE, they're not there anymore. Leon has stopped coming. Also, DJ Reza. Sorry.
And I see Dacharelli's come off them streams as well. It's been about a year since he's put a stream up and all.
Yeah.
Dacharelli, innit?
Yeah. Who? Veli Vision.
Veli.
Yeah, Veli has changed now. His channel is now called something crypto people, crypto something. He's totally changed his name, and he's just doing cryptocurrencies. He's doing NFTs, and he's just talking about that shit because he's got into that stuff quite heavily. So he's now just he's not really doing any stuff like that. Urban Oots 84. Sam's put in the text. Hit the bell icon next to the subscription button. Oh, I see. Urban Oots 84. I guess that must be another channel that I gotta check out. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. It's all dead. It's just dead. Speaker's Corner is like a dead zone. Yeah. I mean, the Christians still go there, the Muslims still go there. That's there.
Got the Jews going there now, man. That's a good thing, at least.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, there is quite a lot of regular Jews now that go there. Hasidic ones as well, like with the curly whirlies.
They must probably be fucking desperate to look for new babies, mate. Good old Abraham. Come on, get your 3-year-old here.
Oh my god.
Shingles.
Oh my god.
Your shingles here.
Yeah.
As I say, man. Do you mind me asking you? Have you guys followed? Have you guys caught up with Brian Harvey at all?
No.
No?
No idea what's going on that side. Maybe Raj, maybe Jupiter might have some ideas. No idea what's. No idea. No idea what's.
You're saying that this one as well.
Yeah, I don't even know what's going on with Brian Harvey. What's supposed to?
You should seriously go check him out, bro. Understand me, especially now with what's going on.
What's he saying?
Red rooms and all the rest of it.
Red rooms?
Yeah, with Lady Ghislaine and all the rest of it.
Oh, are you kidding me? Brian Harvey knows about this shit.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you.
How does...
used to be a famous... Because the guy was a famous star back in the day, man.
Yeah,
Daniela Westbrook, innit? That day, a little bit.
Oh, yeah, he was... Was he in with her then? He was involved with her a lot.
Yeah, it was in with her, innit? And everyone was under the illusion that fucking Brian Harvey was doing this white stuff, but he weren't, man. Understand me? The guy was like one of the ones that weren't, man. Understand me?
Yeah, well, he was into ecstasy and those sort of things, but he wasn't.
Bro.
Dude, Brian Harvey literally went on a radio show that said there's nothing wrong with ecstasy.
There's nothing wrong. But guys, that's going back, what then? That is like, you know, ecstasy is not like a drug that you do like later on. You know, it's not like cocaine.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah, but what I mean is, back in the day, he was into that
yeah.
shit. He wasn't into like
So
cocaine
was
and
every
stuff.
other. So was every other cunt, and
Well,
understand.
yeah, yeah.
You didn't drop a couple of pills back in the day. I can tell you, I did. Not just a couple, neither, man. Fucking loads.
No, but what I mean is, he wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't the cocaine type. He was the ecstasy type. He wasn't.
Yeah, or crack, or heroin. The
Mm,
others were. They're all banging that shit up like they weren't, like as if we were going out,
crack and
going out
heroin. That's
cracking.
messed up, though. That's hard. Because crack, especially, is highly addictive.
Sounds coke, cuz, man. Who's under the illusion cocaine?
Yeah, yeah,
They
coke
don't
is
sell
as
that
well.
fucking that money for no reason.
But so you mean he knew about this
Yeah.
Justine Gals, whatever her name is, Maxwell, as well as
Ghislaine. Yeah.
Ghislaine. That's she's
Yeah.
got the fucking
Lady
weirdest
Ghislaine.
fucking name. But yeah, Ghislaine and did he know much about Jeffrey as well, or was it just
No.
Ghislaine?
No.
Okay.
No.
I guess you had to get under the upper echelons to make it to
Seriously, though,
Epstein's island.
Definitely. I told you this last time to go check this out, man, and you didn't, man.
No, you're right.
He smashed it, man. I'll tell you something. He got raided by the police and everything.
Bloody hell. Do you know the...
good old Ian Piddock, the fucking dirty bastard.
Shit.
Yeah, man. He got his house raided. You wanted to see the panic that the guy was under.
Bloody hell.
Cruel, man. It was cruel. You sound tired, bro.
Yeah, man. I finally I think I'm gonna pass out now. I was not feeling sleepy for ages, and then all of a sudden now I'm just like, I'm about to die.
Good.
So yeah, I think this finally worked. This was my sheep counting measure. Dude, it's been awesome talking to you again, man. We gotta do some more live streams and stuff where we can all chat. You, Raj, me. All of us.
Oh, that used to be good, man.
Yeah, man.
You know the one thing though, Raj is scared about talking about anything to do with Israel, man. He shits himself.
Yeah, well, he can come on this show. We can do it on this channel.
I know they like to fiddle with kids, but I can't talk about it. Not online.
Oh, I see. He's worried about.
Why can you talk about the Muslims, but you can't talk about the Jews, man?
No. I think I don't know, man. Maybe he's under pressure. But either way,
it's Jupiter and Wendy Wu in it. I reckon that's what it is.
Well, maybe
they've got to throw shekels into his pocket, innit?
No, I don't think Jupiter or Wendy. It's if someone's put shekels in Roger's pockets, it's someone else. someone definitely more with more clout.
You'd be surprised the amount of cats and fuckers they got, man.
Yeah.
Mustard bitches, man. Trust me. Can you imagine, like Jupiter, like that dull bitch has got that many fucking views on things there, man? Trust me, man. That woman would have 2 people viewing her if it weren't for them.
Well,
right?
I don't know. Maybe you're right. I mean,
100%. Have you ever heard their shows, bro? A whole bunch of mumbling alcoholics that are just sitting out going, England. And when you go down there, they want like the best interest of Israel. Like, think, hold on, I thought it was all England, and like fucking every policy you're calling out for is for Israel. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Oh, you're Mossad. Bunch of fucking shit spies. Fucking bunch of shit spies, mate. That's all they are.
Yeah, it does. I don't know. I mean, they get a good 100 people each show that they put on. So.
And what do they do? Like, let's talk about Brian Hurl.
Yeah,
man. 100 people talking
people
about
love
Brian
that shit.
Hurl.
But no, dude, if you look at a guy who I was talking about earlier on tonight, Rodney Kay. If you see some of his,
weirdo,
I know he's autistic as fuck. But if you actually watch it, he gets 150, 100, 200 people each episode because he talks about this Brian Hurl shit. He in fact has Brian Hurl on his channel. He talks about all these drama shit. People eat this shit up. It seems that the Speaker's Corner sort of bubble loves this drama shit. They love this drama shit. They love the Brian Hurl dramas and the Esau and the Wendy and the Jupiter fights. They love this shit. They eat this shit up because that man, his channel.
Who's ringing you?
Sorry, go on.
Who's ringing you?
No one's ringing me.
I thought someone was ringing you from the telephone.
Oh, sorry, it might be my my microphone because I occasionally the headset cable rubs against this coiled spring, and it's got weird noises that come out of it. But yeah, but yeah, the speaker's corner like bubble. I think that the majority, at least certainly the ones who run into the hundreds, love the drama shit. They're all over it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
look
love
at
that.
Sam M. I see Sam M in Rodney K's chat all day, all fucking day. He's on there, and he's a prime example of the guys who seem to love it. They eat that shit up. They eat that shit up, and you know it is what it is. You can't, people. If this is because I'll be honest, these little fights and these little online spats, they're like they're like the Kardashians. They're like the
Yeah.
pound shop version of the Kardashians.
Pound shop Kardashian, isn't
Yeah,
it?
the pound shop Big Brother episodes, shows like that. They're just like train wrecks that people like to sit back and just enjoy without having to think too much and without having to. It's escapism for them, and so they see these people with their lives who are fucking just messed up as fuck, and they just sit back and they just enjoy it as a passive entertainment. And I think that's what it is. I've been on Rodney's twice, maybe. No, dude, I've seen you on there loads of times, Sam. I've seen you type away. I'm sure of it. Anyway, either way, there's definitely like a audience for that bollocks, and so people go on there. People, tune in. So when it comes to Wendy, Jupiter, and Rodney K, and even the guy Real and Maggie, Real, right? Um, when they engage in these drama shit, people love them. People like they've got over 100 viewers all the time. If they do that shit, the minute they switch to something less exciting, like talking about the world and like pedophiles who are taking glands from children and making them into fucking youth makeup,
Yeah.
they don't give a shit about that. They don't give a shit about any of that. I swear to you,
I
I could.
told you it's all mustache, man. Trust me, man. They're all put in there to just make it look, put the numbers up. Just tune your radios into that station, boys.
So are you telling me there are no people
And
there? There's just it's all Mossad.
bro, they're talking about Brian Hill. Bro, how long can you talk? I left them 2 years ago now, and they were talking about Brian Hill then.
Yeah, absolutely.
How,
2019, 2020, all about Brian Hurl and all his fucking bollocks.
like, hold on.
And it's the same now.
How can you talk that much about one person and you cover the same narrative? Yes, he stole from an old person. Scandal one. You try to extort, believe it was some woman. Scandal free. Scandal four. He likes to threat a lot of people and not do nothing. Okay. Anything else? No.
Well, I will say this.
That was it.
The other night, before I found out about them, what do you call it, doing this, they were really harassing Wendy about her dead husband quite badly, to the point that the woman broke down. Anyway.
Well, didn't he make a comeback?
You are so fucked up.
Because if you make a comeback,
that is fucked up.
Never mind.
But anyway,
just lay down and take it.
Fucking hell, dude.
Anyway,
the thing was,
I told them not to make an enemy out of me.
Yeah. The thing was, after like I think it was like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was ready to go, and I was about to go, and then Brian Hurl turned on his cam, and he pulled down his trousers, and he hovered with his asshole, cock and balls, just over the fucking camera of his phone. Oh, it was a fucking horrific sight, man. That's the kind of shit no man needs to see or wants to ever see.
Come on,
ever.
Man.
Oh, come
You
on,
might have
dude.
reminded
That
Wendy's
was
husband, man. She
fucked
must
up.
probably had joyous visions of that beauty,
No, no,
bro.
Wendy was gone by then.
Husband.
That's the thing, though. Wendy wasn't even on the panel. It was just fucking men. It was like four blokes, and he fucking basically showed off his cock and balls and rectum to four men. And I was like, what the fuck is this shit? So yeah, so that happened. But because they wanted to pawn bomb Rodney's channel, I guess Brian did. I don't know to shut it down because obviously YouTube will fuck up the thing. But it's like these people when they pawn bomb, they don't realize when they say pawn bombing that is when you get porn from another site and you post it on someone's stream. You don't actually take off your jet trousers and you expose yourself.
Listen,
That is.
can't help it. He was feeling frisky at the moment, and he just wanted to
Holy
air it out a bit.
shit. It's like, that is not actually what you should be doing when it's a porn bomb. You don't actually expose your own genitals to the fucking. Oh my god. Because I suppose he's not great with technology. He didn't realize that he could actually, like, turn on a computer, show, and, like, bring up some porn on the computer, and then put your camera in front of the monitor. And then at least do that. So he's like, I'm just gonna show my cock and balls and porn bomb this channel with my actual cock and balls.
Oh, man, that's like, oh yeah. Before you go, what do you think of Tommy Robinson anyway, bro?
Tommy Robinson. Well, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, obviously he's grifting for more money,
Exactly.
but
Cocaine funds are running out, aren't they?
something's running out. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to Telford. I'm gonna cover it. Yeah, it has to be. At least I can. It should be worth a crack just to see what's going
Yeah.
on. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe a lot of people will show up. Maybe four people will show up, and one of them will
No,
be
there's going to
me.
be loads of idiots showing up. There's always that. I
Yeah.
say they're going to get all the press coverage in the world for that one. Do you understand me? From
Uh,
the far right group and all the rest of it. But
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, in regards to like things getting sorted out, like nothing. Like was there 1,400 abused women there, and what's he done?
Shit, man.
Taking 3 of them. The
Yeah.
other 1,000 women's after that out in the open. Never mind, don't worry, we'll just let the police deal with that. The ones that couldn't deal with it initially, it's like the guy's not even got a comprehension of that. The fucking idiot.
I don't know, man. I honestly don't know. I mean, I'll be honest. Personally, I just think it's another grift.
More to the point, I think it's a lot more devious than that. I think it's like, I genuinely believe that he's working against England now. That I'm 100% sure he is now, to be brutally honest with you. Like, why would you add additional pressure to already a system that's fucked when you could just be dealing with it? And he even made a point of it. He goes, yeah, you know what? We could have took these people personally to court. And he goes, he mentioned this big number, 100,000. Mate, you collected well more than that through the people. Well more than that. Why don't you just put some of that money towards it?
I don't
Why?
know.
I know.
The thing is,
cocaine's a lot more entertaining, mate. I'm kind of guessing cocaine's a lot more entertaining.
But what I'm saying is
and I like the bit where he comes out with, I'm going to show the people. Show the people what, you fucking prick? What's he going to fucking show?
Well, he's done interviews. He's done
little
interviews
cunt.
with these girls, and no one. Because the thing is, you see, this is the problem. If these girls from Telford were being interviewed on BBC, on ITV, if they were all over the news, then Tommy couldn't do anything. He wouldn't have much really to go on. But these girls are being completely ignored, and so he's now using that as an opportunity to say, "Look, I'm giving them a platform to tell their story." And I'm like, how can you possibly say no to that? If he's going to give these girls an opportunity to give their story out, when no one else wants to record their story, then that's
well,
it.
you know what? That's endearing and that's great, but really, there's no positive outcome to that one, is there? I mean,
Well,
what your intentions are far from good. To be brutally honest with you, I mean, what you're doing is, as he mentioned, there's 1,400 girls in the Telford area, and he's concentrated on what?
I don't
3.
know. I don't know how many there are exactly.
And he left them out there as well until shit came down on them. And all right, yeah, credit Stu where it's Stu. He did give him a little bit of cover by
yeah,
taking them away from that. But again, there was, according to reports, there's what, 6 other women that are getting harassed. What about
yeah.
them? What about them?
But that's isn't that fucked up though? That
Yeah,
the
yeah, of
only
course it is.
no, no,
But that's
no,
the reason why the police haven't been doing stuff.
no.
Like, people have got to start fucking understanding the limitations of it. And let's get this right as well. How did it get to that fucking problem? Because the last time I remember, 40 years ago, there weren't a fucking Muslim police force there, was there? Or Muslim counsellors, was there?
Yeah.
So again and again, he's not going to address the real problem. And it again coincidental to the other time that he come out when there was another fucking grooming gang problem that had a blue and white background instead of a green and white background.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, the thing is, what I'm saying is, at least right now, like you were saying, you saw it in some, you must have read it somewhere in some newspaper or some article somewhere where these 6 other women are being harassed, whilst
Yeah,
before that not even that would have been written about those women, and those women would still get harassed, would still have all
they
their
weren't getting
issues.
harassed though. These women were already in that cycle. Like, we get that there's a lot of grotesque, nasty things happening. Banksy, that part, that's unequivocally, unarguably the
Mm.
fact. But the fact was that these people that put a load more strain on something that they already, in their own words, can't sort out. And he
Yeah.
knows that. And he also knows how we got to this fucking situation. He also knows that. He also knows that who backed these people to go move forward and put this problem on us. So what's he doing apart from kicking the hornet's nest and letting shit go where it goes? And let's get this right. He has got a tendency of not sorting fucking things out, hasn't he?
Well, he's not really. He's just going to back away for
Exactly.
once, like you said, once he kicks the hornet's nest, he's just going to back away and go, "I'm just a reporter."
Yeah, I'm an independent reporter. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. All right, well done.
And he'll
You just
leave those people in the shit to try
exactly.
to live with that
Oh,
situation.
before taking the money that he's riled up for, he's another fucking John Wedger.
I
Another
don't know.
fucking John
I
Wedger,
don't know,
mate.
man.
Another
The
piece
problem
of
is,
shit.
you've got the case of not doing anything, or the case of doing something, but unfortunately, the consequences or the unforeseen consequences of doing something is that you will create so much of a fuck up, like your expression, you kick the hornet's nest so badly that then everybody gets fucked up, far worse than before. But at least you
And there's
did.
far bigger problems out there as well in regards to where this is happening. He even said it in his own words. He goes, "We could have gone down private prosecution and took these people to court. They could have done that.
Yeah.
They could have done that." And he also said that there was a case for embarrassing the government by doing so, that they will then end up picking the tab. He knows how to play the law. He knows how to play the law. And to be honest with you, I just want to get to a point where, like, I don't want to be silent on this. I really don't. I was sitting down and I was like, yeah, go on there, Tommy. At least you're fucking going out. But you know what? Thinking about it now, he's not really doing the right thing, is he? Like,
Mm.
this is again another fucking egotistical fucking boat race for him to just, yeah, look, it's me. Like, I told everyone that I weren't out. What do you mean you're not out? Like, what else you got to shout about? Well, you're shouting about the Muslim grooming gang problem again. And that's the biggest problem you fucking got in your own head, yeah?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's either way. Yeah,
Worry about your prince
yeah. I
of
suppose.
Israel, Tommy.
Well, this is the problem as well. There's like so much fuckery going on.
Exactly.
Like literally high level. We're talking presidents and princes and like major top level people who are into this messed up thing,
The only way to get these people to do something, Banksy, I'm telling you, like, how are these people going to move? Like, a person that's got everything, and how are you going to get them to do something?
Yeah.
There's another thing called transparency. Like, everyone shuns away from that. The minute you say, "Yeah, listen, you want crime to end," yeah, right, put a chip in yourself with a microphone on it. Let's hear what you got to say. And think, oh no, we can't have that.
Privacy.
I thought you wanted crime to end, though. I
Well,
thought
this
you didn't
is
want
the
kids
problem.
to be
This is
kidnapped
this is
and
this is the problem,
crime to be
Mr.
gotten away.
Hassan. There's an old saying: those who give up their freedoms for a little bit of security,
That's bullshit.
surely shall they
That's
lose
bullshit.
both and
Who said
deserve
that?
neither.
Who said that? Who
Is
said that?
Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah. And we know who Benjamin Franklin fucking was as well. Yeah, but don't believe this bullshit.
Dude, that still
The vision of
matters.
Lincoln, the vision of Lincoln being the hero. No, he weren't a hero.
Lincoln.
Lincoln
Oh,
weren't a
okay. Lincoln is
hero. Benjamin
much
wasn't.
later on down the line.
Franklin wasn't a hero. No,
No, I'm not saying whether they're heroes or not. The fact is that these people understood liberty, because
they understood how to get away from it.
I'm sure far less rape and fuckeries go on in, I don't know, China maybe. But do you want to live under the
I don't
Chinese
think
regime?
so. I don't think so. I don't think
So
so.
you
I
think the
just think,
Chinese regime are not harsh enough to their people then?
hold on. Do you mind me asking you one thing? You know, when you've got this vision of being what, who do you believe should be doing the watching?
Well, exactly. Who watches the watchers?
No. Why should there be watchers of the water?
Because you can't trust the
Whoever,
watchers.
bro, everyone should be able to. Like, I'm sorry, but everyone should be able to plug into anyone and listen in. There should be areas where
So
you
everyone
can't.
can just
Yeah,
plug in and listen
hell
into
the fuck
private
yeah.
conversations of everyone else.
What people
And
do, that's
and
so shocking.
you've got no ideas how that could be abused.
Bro, but if you want a fair society, okay, what's someone going to talk about that's not being heard through society already?
So you just want everyone to be spied on.
Unless it's sinister talk, well, then you're going to know. And people like that are going to be ousted pretty quick enough to come step back into line in dealing in a fair, appropriate manner. There's nothing worse than, oh, I didn't know that this was going on behind my back. Oh, well, you should have. Well, you got a fucking fortune teller on your ass, you prick. How the fuck were you going to know that that guy was plotting against?
I don't know, man.
In good faith when you go into business, because I believe there is that term where you've got this thing in good faith. I go into business. You don't go into it on the assumption that you're going to get robbed, mugged off, and pushed to a side. Do you?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
And people like verbal contracts. I remember there used to be a thing there. How come they're not now?
Well, verbal contracts.
Yeah.
Because they're not worth the paper they're written on.
Well, it's not written on paper, but
exactly.
Again.
It only matters if it's written down.
No. Well, hold on. But we had this thing called a verbal contract. But how did that gain notoriety?
Because people used to say, my word is my bond, and that used to mean something.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean shit anymore. Words are cheap.
And what's the point? It's not just the words as well, it's their actions. Like, for example, I wasn't there. Is that all you got to say to just avoid?
Because people don't
deception.
have... Look, what happened in society was, consequences for lying became non-existent almost. Or you know, even the only places that really lying has some weight of consequence is like in the court. If you're found in contempt or found, lying on the oath, that's about the only area that lying has any kind of punishment. In most circumstances in society, you can lie like a trooper all day long with almost no consequences. Do you know the amount of time people go around calling other people pedophiles on the on the internet all day long? People are being called pedophiles.
Well, you think that do you not think that needs addressing? Thank you.
Well, yeah. If the libel
Like, I
court,
don't want to be nasty. Like, I don't mind someone calling me a pedophile if there was a way that of recourse for me to prove that it's him that called it.
yeah, or for them to be
A way
punished
of
for their lie.
yeah.
But there is no punishment. I mean, and that's that. By the way, that's the extreme that I'm using. There are
I'm talking
other.
about that should be a minority.
Yeah, but
Like,
I'm
anyone
saying.
that just
What's that going?
what I was going to say is that people that are making deals, like for example, you build up a cooperative. Like in most times, for example, everyone like the MP, I promise to make this. All right, mate, that's your bond. There you go. Like you shouldn't be making willy-nilly promises if you can't keep it. But this, like things of this nature, where your child is, who your child's talking to, like you go. And there's another thing about privacy. Well, are we under some illusion that we're not being heard by our phones and things like that? Are we not signed out of this already by having TVs?
Possibly. I mean, your phone, your Alexas, your all of these things are most
We've
definitely
already
listening
signed
in.
out. Yeah, we signed out of this already. Why are we like again this?
Yeah, but dude,
You're worthy of neither. If you're not
you
willing
can
to
no
fight
no no no.
for
You gotta realize you can
privacy or
turn
your
off your phone, you can turn off your TV, you can turn off your Alexa. You can't turn off some chip that's been placed inside you, and that records your conversations. There is no off switch.
like, thanks. Like, I get that part. I genuinely get that part. But the bit that I'm saying is we're under. It's an illusion that this privacy is a threat to our security. Like it's more to the point. It's the reverse. If your security ain't there, what fucking use of your privacy? So you want to be raped in private or killed in private? It's like, what's the big deal here?
The point is that as a society, we as a free society, we trust the citizens of the society to do the right thing without coercion, without force. Not if you force people to do the things that are supposed to be the right things, then you're not really living even in that security, because what people will then do is, first of all, they will find even more sneakier ways to hide their crimes, because there's always the cat and mouse game, or the fox and hound game of the criminal versus the police or the authorities to try to hide their criminal activity. So you're only going to move the criminal activity another step to another step. Second of all,
Thanks. That I think
people
is an illusion
willingly
that
no
us people like to believe.
no but Hassan
That is a possibility. Banksy, no one gets away with it unless they want you to get away with it.
okay
People, I'll give you the most example, the most famous example. You know when we think that we're fiddling the tax man, we're not. These people have got amazing calculations. They know how much money, unless you're spending exactly what you were gonna get officially, which guess what? You'd have to be a genius. And if you were at that level of intelligence, you wouldn't need to be taking those type of briberies or doing those under, because you'd be smart enough to fucking do the real thing and make money the right way. Are we still under this illusion that these people?
Okay. So you're saying no, that's fine. You're saying that when you do something wrong and you get away with it, it's not that you got away with it. They just let you get away with it because it's not worth their particular time to go through the process of arresting you for it. But what I'm trying to say is, there's an old saying. It's a Christmas song actually. It's about Santa Claus. It says, he only comes for the good. It's for the good and the naughty boys. So be good for goodness sake. I forgot the rest of the song, but anyway, the expression "be good for goodness sake." You see, if people are under coercion or under supervision,
you could reward them.
No. But if they are under constant supervision in order to behave right, then are they behaving right because they know it's the right thing to do, or are they behaving in the right way because they know that they're being spied on?
Who cares?
No, it's not that who cares, because that's the thing. That's the difference. That's the critical difference.
What you could
A
do,
society.
reward them for their good behaviour, that's a different story. But as long as they're good, I don't
Yeah,
care
yeah.
how you get
But
them there.
that's the thing.
You could beat them senseless to get them to be good. As long as
Yeah,
we
but
our children are out and not worrying about these sick people, our elderly are getting home, our women are getting on with their daily business, men go to work and do their usual shit, like stuff that doesn't involve being able to extort someone for your gain because you got intel that other. Like, for example, the
yeah.
most famous example, we got the whips. Yeah.
Oh, the
Now, according
political
to
whips.
them, yeah, they hold information um, and funding. Now, why? How can you hold information that you could sway a person, but yet the government is not using this to get this person put behind bars? And the kind of information they do have is quite severe enough for them to persuade a vote.
Mm.
That, to me,
I mean,
that
look.
that
This is the premise. The premise is a society that has people willingly behaving well, behaving rightly, is a better society than those who are either coerced or scared through punishment to behave rightly, because that society that you've raised individual citizens who know what is right and wrong, who know that they should behave in the right way, have a much greater capacity for growth and for change and for positive change in that
you can't go.
society, rather
You
than a
can,
society that's stifled. Because you got to realize, you think about this, just think about it this way. Why is it that free open societies have been the greatest contributors to technological growth and change versus non versus authoritarian societies? Why isn't the world's greatest technological advances coming out of North Korea
because
versus
they've not
coming out
got
of America?
initiative. Because they've not got initiatives that promote that.
Well, but this is
Not
the thing.
because of their people not being criminals. Because I'm going to be honest with you, people over criminal things have got much more incentive ideas because it's a case of necessities must. I'm under no illusions there in regards to. But what seems to be the problem is that we reward bad behavior for it being gotten away with it, then rewarding good behavior and acknowledging it.
Well, no. I mean, apart from
We
your
haven't got
your,
that. We
yeah.
haven't got that society here,
I mean,
nor has it been tried.
for the most part, we do have a society that rewards good behavior versus bad
No,
behavior.
where?
Well, we do. We have
No, we don't. We
for the
have ones
large.
that got away with it,
Well, the ones who get
and
away
they
with
get
it,
rewarded.
true, they get away with it. But what I mean is, for the most part, we have societies where people are encouraged and are rewarded for their better
There,
behavior than
we got the
criminal
moral argument
activities.
there,
I
not
know.
not the actual. That's a fictional, um, like poster, and that's not a real fucking thing. We, in reality, those that do well, they feel morally right, but bankruptly poor.
Maybe.
That it should be rewarded for you to do well. Like instead of like you see these people like in business, like yeah, listen, I made £10 billion, but I borrowed £11 billion and got rid of 30 workers to save £20 million. Like, and then they get their Christmas bonus. And like, no, bro,
Well, yeah, no, it's
you need to
true. It's
sell your
true.
you
We
need to
do
sell your
have.
house
I
and then put
mean,
your kids on the fucking market
yeah.
and then return that money. That's
Well,
what
no,
you need to do.
you're right. You're right, because there are unscrupulous people without
Scummy
scruples.
bastards. Yeah.
Yes, people without scruples. I mean, there was this case, for example, of a guy who bought, I think, a particular pharmaceutical product, a medicine, a pill or something, that used to be, I think, very cheap or free. And when he then acquired this particular pill, he raised its price by like
Ridiculous.
300% or something,
Yeah.
which made it exceedingly expensive to buy now. And people really, those who took this medicine depended on it. And this guy was like, yeah, I don't give a shit. I own this, and I want to sell it at this price now. It's like, he marked it up by like 200-300% or more even, and people
You
really
know the
complained, and he
story of
became
that?
a hated fucking figure.
You know the story of that?
No,
You
no.
remember? Look, I could tell you something. You know that if you had wrote to that guy and asked him for that tablet, he would have given it for free.
Oh yeah, the AIDS pill. I think it says it's like an
Yeah,
AIDS pill.
and there was another thing as well that he done that to show how fucked the system was, because his medication weren't just the only one that big pharma do. This very same practice that he's done. It's a tablet. It's a fucking tablet. How much could that fucking tablet could have cost? What did the mouse want holiday pay? Or what was it? Like in Spectrum, you're employing let's call it 100 scientists, and you're selling it to millions. That 100's going to be nothing. That 100's wages is going to be, well, once you put it into a million people taking it over a couple of year process, that's costing nothing, and that's pennies on the pound. That's peas on the thousands. So how the fuck are they selling that at that price? So that's what he did. He done exactly the same, and you can't blame him for that. But the government, because he came out on there and he exposed it, and he said, "Look, this is what every other country doing. Why the fuck are you can't have a problem with me?" And that's what the government didn't like. They went, "No, you can't say that." And sent him to prison. I think they got him on fraud, if I remember right.
Maybe,
They
yeah,
said
yeah,
with
yeah.
all the people that they want get done away with fraud. What you mean? I'll give my accounts to your government agents that calculate it, tell me how much I get. I'll pay that, and then I get done for fraud. Okay. Where do I sign on that one again? No, mate.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But either way, I would rather live in a free society like the Western societies at the moment, or at least to some extent. I know it's crumbling, dude. I know that's the danger. That's the problem, that we're losing all of those principles of freedom. And what you were saying about chipping and all that is a more of a reality than ever before, because of this. When it comes to your corona passports, and you have to show your passports to get into bars and restaurants. Well, that's becoming a thing, and eventually, what are they going to do? They're going to say, "Oh, instead of you having to open your phone and show a QR code, just put this chip under your skin."
Would you hijack them, or would you rather let them hijack it? Because weirdly, the last time I remember, government and the people. If the people run government, then you just got to ensure that it's not another government that's running your government. That's
but dude,
the only thing that needs to be done. I'll be honest with you, no one's gonna fancy. No one complains when people find your Apple Watch finds your missing child in minutes and saves them from starvation and cold. All right, and no one's talking more dirty than what the next man is to their wife. Like, we've got to just start coming up to the realization that we're all sick, and some are a little bit more sick and need a little bit more help, i.e. murderers, pedophiles and rapists. But guess what? Tough shit. I don't care that you don't want to get away with it. It doesn't bother me. I don't care that you want to get away with it. It's not my problem.
No, this is. See, the thing is, it sounds perfectly reasonable when you put it in those terms. The problem comes with unforeseen outcomes, unforeseen things that you can't predict, that then come out of as a result of your measures to try to keep everyone safe. I'll give you an example of what happened in America. In New York, the rental prices were really expensive. They were crazy high. And so the government decided, okay, in order to try to make the price of flats a reasonable amount, so they don't skyrocket up as they are now because they're becoming unaffordable, we will put a top limit of how much cap on how much landlords can rent their flats out. And when they did that, a lot of landlords, especially in high expensive sort of apartments in good parts of the United States realize that because of the cap, people that are really like assholes and really like low level, low IQ people who are gonna fuck up their flat are gonna be able to, be applying to rent these flats, and they're gonna complain if they don't get it. So what did the landlords, especially of the rich and the expensive apartments, do? They just left them empty. They didn't rent them out. And then what happened?
Law.
No, no, no,
I've
no,
got
no,
the
no,
law
no.
that says that if you leave it empty for 3 years, we're taking it off to you.
No, no, no. There was no. I
Why
mean, well, you
not?
can't because it's private property. You
Well,
have to
yeah,
have you have
no,
private
yeah, you
property
can.
rights.
But you
The
can't
government can't just
monopolize
take your.
rental in an area. That's
Well,
the real law.
no, no, no. You
And
can't
let's
monopolize
get
it,
this up.
but individuals
Banksy,
can buy
Banksy, Banksy.
property.
You know how the rental market come about? See, this is where we've got to start remembering what the facts are. They got that through our right. We said, listen, the people built the houses, co-ops built houses, and then they went, right, we got these houses. And landlords go, great, what we do is we could buy them and we could rent them out to the excess. They gave them the permission. It weren't the fucking other way around. The landlords didn't build the houses and go, oh, yeah, guess what, we'll give it to you fuckers. They didn't.
Well, the fact is
It was
that
the other way.
at the moment we have something called private property rights. You can buy a
Yeah.
piece of property and it's yours. You can do what you want
And
with
you've
it.
got terms of use on that, haven't you?
No.
I mean, like Banksy, can you buy an apartment and turn it into a nuclear power plant?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying. I mean, but it's not just apartments. We're talking a house. Can I buy a house and do what I want on my house?
No, you can't.
Well, no, no, you can't turn it into a nuclear power plant because in order to
Can you
make a
demolish
nuclear
it?
power plant, you
Can you
have
demolish
to.
it? Can you demolish it?
Yeah, you can demolish it.
No, you can't.
Of course you can.
Not without no, you can't. Not without a license, you can't.
Well, you need to get
Not
planning
without planning
permission.
consent.
Planning
Not
permission.
without permission
But
with your
but
neighbours.
either way.
You tried to knock your house down without your neighbour's permission. You see what kind
Well,
of
that's what I'm saying.
lawsuits
You have
you're
planning
coming up with.
permission. But
There
what
you
I'm
go. So
saying
you
is,
can't.
either way, at the moment,
But
or
you can't.
I'm just trying to give you the example of the New York thing. What happened with New York and the adverse reactions or the unforeseen consequences for that situation was once they put a cap, then the landlords stopped renting them out because they didn't want their houses to be crapped on by some lowlife who's going to pay well below market price for this apartment. So what happened in New York? They started having shortages. They started having flat shortages because landlords weren't renting them out anymore. But I'm just trying to give you the example of unforeseen consequences of situations where if you interfere with people, then other ramifications,
you're
other
not
things
seeing it.
happen.
Listen. If you're putting a policy in there, you got to make sure you cover your bases. Like for example, it makes little sense to say every doctor's got to treat cancer patients, okay, and then you give the option to the doctor for them not to. You make sure that when they're going through education, you say, listen, we're going to be having a lot of cancer patients. We need these people to be treated. Will you have any objections? If the answer is yes, fuck up. The answer is no, proceed. Like we have police officers now, Banksy, that have, guess what, no legal right to protect you. How are you a police officer and you've got no legal right to protect you? How is this job now a job? No, you're just a wage collector. We don't. You wouldn't expect anyone, and you wouldn't go to. You know what? We need soldiers, but what they're going to do is blow whistles at the oncoming enemy. And when it comes to shooting, they're going to have the option to. You wouldn't.
Yep.
You wouldn't
But I mean,
consider someone. And buying a house, bringing it back to your point, when you buy a house, I remember when I bought my houses, there was terms and conditions. I couldn't buy a house and turn it into a shop. I couldn't buy the house and grow marijuana. I couldn't buy a house and demolish it. I couldn't buy a house and leave it vacant for over a year. These were conditions. There's loads of new houses that are sold with these very conditions. You can't have parties in there. You can't do whatever the fuck you want. under whose illusion do people think that you can buy a house to do what the fuck you want? That go on demolition your house, go and change the layout on it, change
Yeah,
the outside
I
wall,
mean,
see what the fuck
of
happens.
course, you need depending on where you buy your house and which country and all that. But I was just trying to give you an example of unforeseen
Yeah, I hear what you're
circumstances
saying,
and
but
things
you've
that
got to
happen that you
see
don't
it.
not aware of. So yeah, I mean, in reality, maybe you can solve that housing thing. I'm talking about when you were talking about your authoritarian regime to keep
It's not
everyone
an
safe.
authoritarian.
No, it's authoritarian, dude. It's 100% authoritarian.
You can call it utopian as well.
No,
I
no,
mean,
no.
there's no
It's
difference
it's just
between
authoritarian.
authoritarian.
Because, but no, what I'm trying to say is that you have to examine. Because for me, I've got this theory of there is a reason why countries like the United States, countries like Europe, managed to innovate the way they did, especially in the 20th century. And
I think
Eastern
we've been marketed to think that. I don't think we're that very innovative. Like,
innovative, but I
no, I
mean,
don't think so.
well,
What you're saying? Russia's not?
no, not
You
nearly
sure?
to the equivalent of the United States and the United Kingdom and the European nations. When it comes to the major innovations in the 20th century, they all came out of Europe and the United States. They didn't come out of China. They didn't come out of Japan. Some did later on after the Second World War, but that was because it became Americanized and became a free society. But all of them came out of free democratic societies versus dictatorial, oppressive societies like the Middle Eastern nations, like the Chinese. So there's an element in that societal structure that allows for the free growth and free thinking of its nation, of its citizens. And when people
Listen,
are
I'm going to
open
mention
to
a part of the world where a person used to hold, and there wasn't a lot of crime there, and there was a lot of innovation going on, and there was a very massive social library where people can go down and expand on and put in further advanced. That is absolutely ludicrous. That because you don't know the reason why people can't get ahead because they maybe have minimum basic understanding or no access to the understanding of getting things done properly. Like a place that has got high schooling and high education, these people will, like it or not, be like easily mold into being inventors, scientists, engineers. I mean, these are just common that comes with being like that. You just got to make sure that the basics are there. Having people monitored like we have in England and not having it um, accessible to the general public is where the problem is. Everyone's getting we're under we're like who's under what fucking illusion? Unless you're a spy under deep cover that knows where all the cameras are, and knows where all the monitors are, and where the listening bugs are. Mate, what it comes down to, I think where people are really struggling is just accepting that you're being heard, just whatever. You just be careful what you need to say. Like if you're saying I want to fucking kill people, you just want to hope that you're not near that location where that person died. Guess what? A police officer will come down and talk to you. Like, it's not rocket science. You know, like if you keep mentioning, oh, I want to kill that person or I'm going to do that person wrong and something happens to that person, well, it's just a monitoring way of just the police sorting this out. It could be innocent and it could be thing. And if you're there on the location, well, you've got some explaining to do. Better to have that than have millions of crimes going unsolved because one person or a small tiny percentage of people are gonna be done by miscarriage of justice, which could then later be appealed and pushed forward to, depending on the system that you want. When it comes to educating people not being in it, like inventors, that's due to education, frankly. If you give people literature and access to it, unhindered and unrestricted, people, I'm sorry, but they're not happy until they become totally lazy. Like we become nowadays. Like everything on the phone, you can get shopping on the phone, you can even get drugs delivered to your fucking door. Do you understand me nowadays? Like, what is it? Because we're super smart? No, it's just because someone's invented it because they know there's a demand for it. That's how that works. But you got to reward them in a way where you didn't have to blackmail the technicians, steal from drug dealers to invest in a bank manager to get your business idea up. Right? If you was talented, well, your ideas will be displayed, and the people that are relevant to that market that will have access go, oh look, this person's quite smart. They could then advance you to the stature or the position that you need to be in. Now, this way, we're all hindered because supposedly it's bad for us. It's just a fallacy. If at best it's a fallacy. How is that? The government knows everyone is, and they don't use it right. And we've not gone into this dark place according to it. That we've got Pegasus. Pegasus have been able to listen in to us for fucking 4 years now. And that country seems to do really well.
Or the Five Eyes? Was it the Five Eyes?
Yeah. No, that country seems to be doing well. I'm sure the intelligence has served them pretty well. How comes we're not having it? I'm sorry, but let's be honest here. Everyone's saying, "Oh, it's not." It's just marketed that our privacy means much. What you mean? Whilst you choke the chicken, your heartbeat gets to 110, and your anal rectum seems to have something stuck in it. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Who cares? Who fucking cares? As long as it's not a kid on the end of it, I don't give a fuck.
I don't know, man.
A person that's shouting no, no, no in the background, which, guess what? If you did have something, you'd be able to tell.
Yeah, I don't know. Dude, I should have started this conversation when I was in like 8 o'clock in the evening.
Call me. Have you got my number?
I've got it, man. I'll buzz you.
I might have changed it.
Okay. If you have mine, then send me a text, and I'll buzz you. I'll buzz you next time I start a live stream at a more reasonable hour. I thought I was gonna get like an hour, and then I'll pass out and quit the stream. But this thing's gone on for like 3.5 hours. Holy shit! Yeah, I know. Dude, it's been awesome. Let's do this at a more human hours next time. Have a good one, Has. It's always a pleasure talking to you, mate. It's been a long time. We got to get this shit together. We got to talk to Rog, get some streams together. We'll have some laughs. Have a good night for now, man. I'm out.
You too, mate.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. I am literally fucking passing out. This was, yep. Okay, that's done. Yeah, that was heavy. I'll be honest. I didn't think this thing was gonna go on as long as it did. So yeah, we're just gonna play some music and have yourself a wonderful night. Thank you everyone for coming. And yeah, peace out.